Hello, welcome back to Murrayfield here on 5 Sports Extra. We're doing all the build-up here to Scotland against Wales in the Six Nations. My name is Sarah Orchard. A little bit earlier today, we were treated to quite the fixture over in Dublin. Ireland 27, France 42. That, of course, puts the French in the driving seat now to win the Six Nations in round 5 when Scotland go to Paris next week. But our focus right here, right now, is everything going on at Murrayfield. I'm delighted to say I'm joined by former internationals. First of all, from Wales, James Hook, and then from Scotland, Johnny Beattie. The atmosphere is really starting to ramp up here. If you want to see one thing from your teams both today, starting with the away side, James Hook, what is it you want to see from them?
Sarah, I want us to continue where we left off against Ireland. You know, the attacking intent. I want us to go out and try and score some tries. Our defence was fantastic against Ireland. Our scrum was very good. As I said earlier on, it's a question, can we back that up and turn it into another really good performance going into the last game next week against England?
Johnny?
What he said. Seriously, I want to see Scotland continue to play in the same manner. It's a terrific sunny day here at Murrayfield during the Six Nations, which doesn't happen often. I think Wales will throw the ball around. I expect Scotland to do the same and for them to generate opportunities, but to finish them. The difference has to be 3 tries to 1 at Twickenham. They could have had 4 or 5. They need to punish Wales when they have ball and get the points on the board and win. It's just a must-win game, Sarah.
Let's run you through the lineups. Wales unchanged for the first time since 2019 to their 15. Blair Murray at fullback, Tom Rogers on one wing, Ellis Mee on the other, Ben Thomas and Max Llewellyn are your centres. Gareth Anscombe at 10 with Thomas Williams at 9. Into the front row, Nicky Smith, Elliot Dee and Will Griff-John. The second row made up of Will Rowlands and Daffyd Jenkins. And then the back row, Jack Morgan, Tommy Rafal and Taulupe Faletau. Of course, Jack Morgan, he captains with 6 on his back. On the bench, it's return for Dowie Lake wearing 16 after that bicep surgery. Gareth Thomas at 17 and also an inclusion for Kieran Asarati wearing 18. The rest of the bench is Teddy Williams, Aaron Wainwright, Rodri Williams, Jared Evans and Joe Roberts. Moving on to Scotland, they do make one change. It comes quite early in this list. At fullback, Blair Kinghorn continues at 15. On one wing, we see the return of Darcy Graham after he missed round 3 with that concussion. He'll wear 14. Dan van der Merwe wears 11. Into the centres, it's Tom Jordan and Hugh Jones. Finn Russell at 10, the co-captain, and Ben White at 9. Into the forwards, Pierre Schoeman, Dave Cherry, Xander Fagerson. Second row, Johnny Gray, Grant Gilchrist, and then the back row, Jamie Ritchie, Rory Darge and Jack Dempsey. As we see the flags unfurled onto the pitch, we are not far away from kickoff as I give you the Scotland bench of Ashman, Sutherland, Hurd, Brown, Fagerson, Horn, McDowell and Rowe. Now, with everything that has happened in the Six Nations campaign so far, these two sides are playing for something very different now. There is no way of saying that the narrative of this championship has now changed. It's going to be either England, arguably unlikely, Ireland, if they can get the bigger scoreline perceived, and hope someone slips up ultimately along the way as they play Italy next week, or is it France, who are in the driving seat right now? And very quickly, Johnny Beattie, you are a Francophile. You do live in France. Tell us a little bit, what is that going to mean to that French side come next week at 8 o'clock in France?
It's enormous. I mean, given everything they've been through, I think there's still a little bit of a hangover from that World Cup loss where they feel that's another one that got away, but big gambles. Ntamak back in, paid off. 7-1 bench, Oscar Jegu playing centre, paid off. The physicality, the brute force, and now they have a real shot at the championship at home against Scotland in Paris. So everything is set up. Prime time next weekend will be an absolute showdown. And
I said a little bit before, Scotland and Wales could be chief agitators in all of this. I know it's frustrating ahead of you even having played this round 4 fixture, but will there be a bit of your nations that delight in that? I'm looking at you, James Hook. I mean, wouldn't you like just to really annoy England next week?
Yeah, and we've got a past history of doing it as well, Sarah, you know. So I think, like I said earlier, if we can put a performance in here, that will give us the confidence going into Cardiff. And Cardiff, the last game of the Six Nations, will be rocking. And, you know, it's going to be a tough game for England to come down there and get a result.
Did you play in that 2013 game?
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah,
and that was pretty special.
That's the one that, when it comes to agitation, that always really springs to mind. There we go.
A smile on his face. You can't see it at home, but he is grinning like a Cheshire cat.
Right then, the teams are out of their changing rooms and they are waiting for the signal to come in. Murrayfield is packed to the rafters, and what is absolutely beautiful is the sun is beaming down on the far side of the ground at the moment. Everyone enjoying the sunshine. We've had nearly 14 degrees in Scotland here today. However, the temperature will start dropping as this game continues. But here come the players out of the tunnel first. Here comes Finn Russell, Scotland co-captain. On the other side of him, of course, Wales, Jack Morgan. The team's out onto the pitch in front of us, and they walk across and they go past the Doddie Weir Cup. It will be presented to the winner later today by Her Royal Highness the Princess Royal, of course named after Scotland great Doddie Weir, who sadly passed away from motor neuron disease. A wonderful fixture and hugely poignant that his name is on that trophy. Right then, Wales are lining up on the left-hand side of the field for the anthems. Scotland will be on the right-hand side. As everyone in Murrayfield now gets to their feet and gets ready for the anthems, we can see a piper on the roof, but of course first it will be Wales. You're listening to 5 Sports Extra. We'll be bringing you Scotland against Wales in the Six Nations. Now it's time for Flower of Scotland.
John Mitchell.
Formalities finally complete. Pyrotechnics have gone off. Pipers are leaving the field. Tracksuit tops are finally coming off. We're about to get underway with some rugby here at Murrayfield. A reminder that this match in 2024 was in Cardiff. The scoreline finished 26 to Wales, 27 to Scotland. I can tell you that 1 point was a very different story earlier on in the fixture. Nobody thought it would end up being that tight. Johnny Beattie, the expectation is that Scotland should have beaten England. The expectation today is they should beat Wales. But Wales have got new manager Bounce. How nervous are you as a nation right now?
Very. And also you have very little to analyse with this setup. You can look into the regions in Wales and see how they play under the stewardship, but the fact is Wales last week against Ireland had a real bounce. The emotional jolt from having a new coach in, but also statistically the rugby they produced, throwing the ball wide, picking correct players in correct positions, they executed. And in terms of tackle breaks, line breaks, offloads, they did everything and more than everything they managed to muster in round 1 and 2. So look, this is a new team, rejuvenated. They were looking to re-carry that emotional bounce and take this game to Scotland. So I'm nervous. There's very little to go on, and they're an incredible rugby nation.
Well, we'll talk about Wales in a moment as the match ball is just walked out onto the fields by Emma Wassell. Scott Munlocke, who's had an incredible story over the last year. She had a tumour removed from her chest and is hoping to battle her way back into World Cup contention later this year. She puts the ball down on the centre spot alongside Julie Bevan, the granddaughter of former Scotland scrum half Jimmy Nelson, who scored the first ever try here at Murrayfield back in 1925. Very quickly, James Hook, 15 losses on the bounce, but Wales are smiling again.
Yeah, they are, and I think they got plenty of confidence. They play with confidence. The shackles are off, but can they do that all over again? I expect Wales to kick a lot more today, Sarah. They didn't kick pretty well in that middle third against Ireland, so I expect them to test Darcy Graham and Van der Merwe, particularly aerially, and then see how they go there.
Okay, we're about to get underway. I can actually see it's Ben Thomas who's got the ball in his hands for Wales. Now, we were told a little bit earlier that it was Scotland who won the toss, but it's Wales who are going to be getting us underway. They're going from left to right. So Wales are wearing, of course, their red shirts with their white shorts and red socks. Scotland lined up on the right-hand side, wearing the navy blue tops with the white shorts and the navy blue socks. They'll be going from right to left. Our referee is Andrea Picardi of Italy. He's supported by Nick Berry of Australia and Gianluca Necchi of Italy. We also have the TMO in the truck of Eric Gauzin of France. But we're about to get underway then in this Six Nations clash between Scotland and Wales at Murrayfield as Ben Thomas puts the ball into the Scottish sky and it lands just outside of the Scottish 22. Big press by Wales to get up in the Scottish faces and slow down the ball. Nothing fast happening yet as the ball is sucked out by White and he just shuffles it along the line and they set up another ruck. A man who is happy to cause a few issues, and there was Nicky Smith, who managed to find his way back out again as White now tries to set up the box kick down this left-hand channel. Spinning ball's going to come down well out of play. Not entirely sure that's quite the distance that Ben White wanted. It's going to be a Welsh line out on this near side of the field between the 10 and the 22 as you wait for Elliot Dee to line this one. Just quickly on the front rows there, James Hook, I know this is your specialist area, but are you happy with Adam Jones and his selections and that he's taking control of that area?
Yeah, he's definitely taking control. He's been a breath of fresh air, and as I said earlier, against Ireland the scrum was very, very good. Will Griff John on the tight end, he's only started two games for Sale this year and he was fantastic, so hopefully he can continue that.
Wales win the line out, they spin it down the line and there was a long pass out wide. Waiting for it was Blair Kinghorn, spotted straight away Johnny Beattie.
Yeah, they'll come straight back. Jamie Ritchie, who tried to contest that line out, came well across the line, easy, and picked up by the refereeing team. So a change in strategy also for Scotland. Normally the first 2-3 tests they've played together in this competition, when they've exited, they've kicked to compete and keep the ball on the field. Against Wales there, they've kicked out and given them a line out just shy of the 40, but unfortunately given away the penalty at the resulting line out.
And big decision there. Gareth Anscombe has decided to kick a goal, although I say it's a big decision. We were discussing this a little bit earlier. When it comes to kicking either for the corner and going for a driving ball from a line out or kicking for three, do we feel that maybe 3 points is going to come back into fashion?
I think so. I think you look at Italy against Scotland, the early part of the Six Nations. Tommy Allen just kept knocking over those 3 points, stayed in touch. I think, as you say, Sarah, there's a big discussion going on. This is a tough kick for Gareth Anscombe, 15 metres in from touch, just in front of the 40. And it's interesting as well, Gareth Anscombe isn't taking the restarts, and we spoke a little bit about his groin injury. Be interesting. Big first kick.
Yeah, he did come off in that fixture. He's been passed okay as he lines this one up. 15 metres out from the near side touch. Needs a little bit of a turn in on this one. But it is Wales who lead at Murrayfield. That one is through. It is Scotland 0, Wales 3. And Scotland have not left their half yet, but there's only 2.5 minutes on the clock.
Well, that's a perfect start for Wales, right? And again, Scotland shooting themselves in the foot. This is what we saw in that second period at Twickenham. Penalty count racked up. They allowed England back into the game here. Advantage Wales. Perfect start. 1 penalty, 3 points.
Restart then Finn Russell. He's gone quite short on this occasion. Lands outside of the Welsh 22. Batted back by Scotland, who have their first time on the ball As I say that, it is not. It's won by Wales on the ground. They gather the ball as they push forward inside of their own half of the field and look to try and clear. Thomas Williams is just asking for a little bit more ballast at the back of the ruck. The protection of the 9 there, he didn't have enough, so in the end it gets batted down and Scotland have it through Duhan van der Merwe. The huge tackle going in on him. I think that came from Jack Morgan. He has had some incredible statistics about how he has been playing in this Wales squad. So many people putting his name in there for the Lions as they pass down the back line. Scotland eventually dragged down to the ground is Tom Jordan, the Glasgow man. Of course, he will be leaving Scotland to play his rugby next season. He's going to be joining Bath as Scotland hold onto the ball inside of Welsh territory. They're over the 10-metre line. Big shoulders being thrown forward by Xander Fagerson. White digging away. Eventually the ball emerges as it just gets passed through the hands once again. Scotland slightly lateral from the last few phases, not really penetrating for now. That Scottish flair attack not quite showing its self for the time being. If you're just joining us here on 5 Sports Extra, Scotland 0, Wales 3, 4 minutes on the clock. Scotland, plenty of phases, not too much penetration. Sideways run coming in from Duhan van der Merwe, who has come off his near side wing and he's looking for work out on the right. There's still no one really hammering away at this gain line for the time being. Johnny Gray on the ball now. We come back again. There we get to finally see the breakthrough Darge, but he's only made about a metre as Russell tries to cross back inside. This is quite hard to watch at times because this is exhausting from Scotland so early on in this fixture. They just need the breakthrough. Is it finally going to come there into the 22? They've made a couple of metres there. Scottish ball, as they have made about 3 or 4 metres, but still they need to actually compose something here. Have they got space out wide? Spun out to Kinghorn. This is the opportunity. The handoff, the try in the corner from Kinghorn. The thumb goes up from the touch judge. Scotland are on the scoreboard. It is now Scotland 5, Wales 3.
Yeah, a lovely piece of multi-phase by Scotland, holding on to that ball, not panicking, working through their shape and generating a one-on-one, the outside channel for Blair Kinghorn, who manages with the hitch kick to find that extra bit of space and dot down. Again, there wasn't the bludgeoning drive and go forward, but they just did enough to stretch that Welsh defensive line, create that mismatch and dive over.
Yeah, and it all came from a charge down from Thomas Williams' box kick. That gives Johnny Gray, he got his hand in there, that allowed Scotland to get on the attack. And I thought Wales did really well initially in terms of stopping that Scotland ball, getting out to the width. Tom Rogers coming up, but Scotland just kept the ball, kept their patience, and allowed Kinghorn just to get, as you say, the hitch kick to go around Anscombe, and a really good finish.
Well, Darcy Graham there with the pass away to Kinghorn to finally touch down. After all that possession, Scotland will be delighted because one of the things that was concerning is how much time they had with the ball without gaining points. As Finn Russell, of course, he slots one from the near side touch. I mean, he can't put his finger up at the crowd or the pundits for what's happened and been said about the last couple of weeks, but that does the job for him, doesn't it?
It was the exact same spot that he missed last week at Twickenham. That's the irony. He's banged that over again. World work try. Darcy Graham again does the hard work, forces Tom Rogers with 14 on his back to turn his shoulders in. That allows the pass away, and Kinghorn with the finish. Nice piece of...
And that's exactly what he wanted as a kicker. He would have been practicing from that spot all week, and that's what he wanted. Another shot in that same exact spot. Nailed it. Great kick.
Okay, Scotland 7, Wales 3, 6 minutes played. We're already racking up the scoreboard here. If you missed it earlier, what a scoreline over in Dublin. Ireland 27, France 42. Right then, we get back underway through Ben Thomas, the Cardiff man, of course, as we have been talking about, playing in his traditional 12 shirt now. Second match in a row as the ball is cleared by Scotland. Really nice clearance from them, well over the halfway line, and Wales are pushed back inside of their own half for the line. Actually, the Lions judges said it's still just inside the Scotland half. I'm giving them too much credit.
Yeah, it's interesting, Johnny, Scotland kicking off again, and do you think they go in at Wales? Because obviously they picked Raffel and Jack Morgan in the back row. Very good at slowing the ball down. You lose that one line-out option then.
Ball in then from Wales as it goes away. Anscombe with the distribution. Jack Morgan in there as well. He goes down to the ground. Not too many Wales players committed, so Anscombe has another nibble again to push it out towards the far side. Blair Murray involved in that exchange out the back. He was one of the players that arguably you definitely have put in the frame for a player of the match of the ward if maybe that Ellis Mead tried gone down. But hey, that is all now Six Nations history. Still Wales on the ball on the halfway line. Anscombe gets out wide to Thomas. Now we get to see me on the ball once again. That is nice from Wales. They've made a couple of metres over the gain line on this occasion. Little bit of a shuffle coming from the forwards in the midfield. It's not making huge inroads so far, and that's the decision from Gareth Anscombe to put the high one up in the end. It's going to come down on the far side. Bit of an unfortunate collision on the far side that our referee Picardi seems happy with, but Wales have made ground. They've made a good 10 metres from that high ball. A little bit of a show and go by Murray on that occasion. He is eventually brought down on the Scotland 10-metre line as it comes really close to this near side touch. And a couple of Scotland players in there, Darge and also Jordan, just holding up Wales. Eventually they go down to the earth. But this is where both sides have expended a lot of energy, going through a huge amount of phases. We just saw Scotland do it. They did get their try in the end. Can Wales do the same? Or will they turn around after all of these phases they've been through with nothing to show for it? As they're on the ground, they've got to be a little bit careful about scrabbling along the floor. They're on the 10-metre line once again. Red shirts making themselves available. Still with their tails up, this Welsh side. But the penalty goes the way of Scotland. They're on their own 10-metre line. They will clear. And you can tell by the noise of the crowd that was only one man. That was Piescu.
Not releasing.
Yeah, and there was actually quite a decent half bust by Jack Morgan on the open side. That got Scotland on the back foot, and then a tip-on pass to Rowlands in the midfield. They kind of got in the way themselves. Wales at the breakdown in that clear out just allowed Schoeman time on that ball. Such a big man, low centre of gravity, gets in, and once those big mitts are locked on, big penalty for Scotland, because that was again multi-phase stretch through 10 plus phases. And a decent outcome for Scotland.
Yeah, it's a good defensive line from Scotland, wasn't it? As you say, Johnny, they're going through the phases. Wales playing off 10 an awful lot off Anscombe, but that Scottish defensive line held really firm.
Scotland 7, Wales 3, and we've had an early change here. Ellis Mee has gone off the field. He seems to have picked up a knock, so already onto the field is Big Joe Roberts. Now, an early blow there for Wales. Are you happy that that is a back rather than a forward, James Hook?
Yeah, I think so. I think
Rogers.
It's a big test for Joe Roberts, but he's a big physical man. But yeah, I think it's going to be tough either way.
Yeah, sorry, just correction. That's Tom Rogers that's gone off the field of play. Joe Roberts now on. So from that line out, Scotland had the ball. They're approaching the Wales 10-metre line. Running line coming in from Darcy Graham. That is nothing straight, and that is what he likes. He does not want to be predictable at all. He was a name again in Lions contention. Can he put himself back there having missed that fixture? Duhan van der Merwe with the big fend out wide on Mee. Oh, really nice as he gets it away to Hugh Jones. Back inside. Beautiful rugby from Scotland. It will be Tom Jordan who touches down. That is some sensational rugby. The Scottish backs at their best, and 2 tries already for Scotland with only 10 minutes on the clock. Scotland 12, Wales 3.
And that is from nothing. I mean, Scotland have just lost the line out on the 10 metre. They've been turned over. It's Darcy Graham that takes that ball back to the heart of the Welsh defensive line. Scotland again, they had real joy at Twickenham, but playing to win. There's a really poor missed tackle on the wide channel. One-on-one, Blair Murray completely misses Duhan van der Merwe. That allows him on the outside. Again, it's a 2-on-1 created. Hugh Jones with the bust, and he finds Tom Jordan on the inside shoulder. That's a big try. Turnover and counter-attack again for Scotland from nothing. But Wales have to be better.
Yeah, they do have to get
in the transition. They must do better.
100%. As you say, John, it's a simple missed tackle, but Scotland, they're targeting this left-hand side against Wales. Obviously, 2 tries now down this left-hand side, and it's a simple missed tackle, but it's definitely an area where Scotland are going at Wales.
2 from 2 for Finn Russell as well. Scotland 14, Wales 3. Now the concern here will be, are Scotland going to start running away from this? How important are the next 5 minutes, James Hook, for Wales?
Yeah, they have to regain some control. They're trying to go through the phases. I think the problem with Wales so far, well, in the last phase anyway, was they're trying to play in that middle third too much. So if it's slow ball, the defensive line of Scotland's very good. Just put the ball back down in Scottish territory.
Restart from Wales, taken cleanly by Scotland. The calm hands of Johnny Gray. The maul is called by our referee, so there's no tackle here as they shuffle away down towards this near side. Ben White needs to get this out. He won't get another warning as it comes down towards this near side touch. Waiting for the ball to land in the hands of Murray. Anscombe now with the right boot, puts it up high. He's waiting for Murray to chase this one. It ends up in Finn Russell's hands. Now we go to Kinghorn. He thinks he can see a bit of space, and that is really nice by Blair Kinghorn. Lovely boot down the right-hand side side, another couple of metres, it would have been a 50-22, but hey, no complaints. It's going to be a Wales line-out, far side of the field, just outside of their own 22.
Yeah, flirting with that 50-22, but pegging Wales back, forcing them to play out of their third. Wales disorganised in their pendulum, in their backfield. Blair Kinghorn lifted his head, found the space, pressure on Wales.
There's a lot of space there, wasn't there?
There really was a huge gap there as the head goes down from the Wales captain, Jack Morgan. Tries to fly forward. He's made 48 tackles so far in this championship, and the stat that has been flying around about him all this week is the 119 post-contact meters he has made, which is some numbers this early on in the championship, and just shows you what a fighter he has been so far in this tournament. Right then, it is a Scottish ball inside of their own half. They're just trying to not kick this out just yet. Scotland still playing inside of their own half. Will they look to try and clear this? Contest on the ground. Did Wales get it back? No. Wales off their feet. And Scotland do get to clear, but it will be from composure, as Wales just slowly walk back and away. Here's a bit of a random one for you, James, here. When Pierre Schoeman just got that jackal penalty a little bit earlier, we always hear the noise go up from the crowd of everyone saying his name. There's very few people who get something like that. You used to have it, didn't you?
I don't, did I? Did I? Hook, yeah, where? Just use that.
Use the hook. Use the hook, yeah.
I mean, I can remember
Dustin
hearing
Hoffman
it.
or James Hook?
I was focused on the game.
Oh, well. Did you have a chant or anything, Johnny Beattie? I don't think you did. No, he's not even going to pick up his microphone for that. He's just like, no, definitely not. Okay, so Scotland have kicked down towards the far side of the field, and it is their line-out just outside of the Wales 22. Scotland 14, Wales 3. 14 minutes on the clock here on Sports Extra. Ball coming in then by Dave Cherry. Goes short towards the front, taken eventually by Ritchie in the air. And Scotland eventually get that one moving. The crowd just giving that little bit of extra effort for them to try and go further. It's reasonably well held by Wales, but there's the warning to use it once. Jordan back on the ball once again, fresh from his try. That was nearly a really nice move from Scotland, but Wales did just catch the ball and slow it down. Jack Morgan with the rip. Brilliant stuff there by the Welsh captain, and the bounce of the ball inside of the field of play. Comes out on this near side. Scotland have a line out on the halfway. That is a good defensive shift there.
Yeah, good defensive set by Jack Morgan. Really, really good rip. And the kick was the right option. There's a lot of space in the backfield, but just didn't strike it right. Jack Morgan, he can do pretty much everything, but yeah, a bit of work on his kicking, I think.
And if that ball had gone out the back, they went short and took the short run and he got held up. If that ball went out the back, Wales again were stressed.
Yeah.
Not quite the right decision on the gain line by Scotland on the ball, but big defensive win for Wales.
Jack Morgan showing that he is a strong boy, the Ospreys man, 25 years old. Ball comes in then from Scotland as we hear a Piper just play out their lovely little dummy coming in by Finn Russell. Read reasonably well by Wales, and they win the penalty.
You play 16, you are on the wrong side, you need to come back.
So Scotland told off there for not going through the gate as they joined the ruck. So this is an absolutely monster penalty. If anyone fancies it from Wales, they're not going to go for posts. They're going to kick down towards this near side. The penalty there, you're just watching that back, Johnny Beattie, fair decision?
Yeah, there is a fault by Scotland, but there's also a claim that Elliot Dee was with his hands on the deck, therefore they had to come in and clear him out, and he was in a legal position. So the rest made his decision, we move on.
We could pick out a few penalties from every ruck, couldn't we?
Yeah, he didn't seem too convinced himself, Elliot Dee, did he? But he'll take it.
Right then, Wales, they have a platform, haven't had one for a while. It's a line out just outside of the Scottish 22. Really nicely taken in the air. They've set up the maul, they're not going to use it. Morgan feeds towards the middle of the field. Ben Thomas is there. He manages to go into contact, but no, forward pass in that movement, and we will come back for a Scottish scrum. So the opportunity for Wales goes begging. I think you were going to tell the referee that by screaming at Johnny Beattie if he didn't give it.
Well, look, Scotland were on the back foot. You can also see their defensive line. They'd slipped and completely had a false start. So Wales have taken that to the gain line. They haven't got through first phase, and they've given us the ball back. So again, I thought we were under pressure, and that was going to be a really good start to play. We were on the back foot, and we've come away with a big win.
Is this our first scrum?
It's a great scrum.
Yeah, first one.
Okay, that's the mark.
Our first scrum of this whole fixture. So just a quick reminder for Scotland: Pierre Schoeman, Dave Cherry, Xander Ferguson going up against Nicky Smith, Elliot Dee, and Will Griff John. The referee is having a very deep, in-depth conversation. Everyone's been cleaning their studs, and they're finally going to get this one underway. We were speaking on the Rugby Union Weekly podcast earlier this week with former England scrum half Danny Kerr, who was saying he'd seen Adam Jones, as they're going to reset this, so don't worry.
Check by the TMO.
Just 1 second, if we just listen into the TMO.
So Eric, referring to your check.
Yes, I will show you the action on number 12.
What are we checking?
We are checking the action of number 12, red, where the hand goes in the eyes area.
Okay, that sounds quite
Number 12 red.
serious. So 12 red is Ben Thomas.
Full play by number 12 red.
Yes, exactly. I will show you the best angle.
Okay, so they're just waiting for the pictures to come on the big screen here. Now, our TMO is from France, our referee is from Italy, and they're saying that the hand of Ben Thomas goes into the face of Duhan van der Merwe.
I will show you the best angle just after this one.
Now, we're seeing from the replay the hand does go in the face, but they're saying it's made contact with the eyes. It's a handoff.
Well, look,
is the issue.
Yeah, it's a handoff. It's a fend that he's led with his forward.
Wait, please.
The first images show it's clearly connected with his chest. So he's nowhere near his neck. It's then ridden up. And yes, if any contact has been with the face, it's accidental. He's not going for his eyes.
He's not even looking at his eyes. I think there's nothing wrong with that. Obviously, there may be a little bit of contact.
This is your best angle.
Me too. This is what I'm saying.
We've now seen the reverse angle. I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. Just a rugby incident. Play on.
Yeah, really.
Okay, we will listen in now to what the officials say.
It's not about the fend off, it's about the hand in the eyes.
I understand, but I think we ended up, full play on. The only thing that we need to consider is the action of the elbow. Is it separation from the hands or not?
Andrea, it's not about the elbow, it's about the hand.
I understand that,
okay.
But we need to check only that, because come back to me.
We come back to you?
Yeah, come back to me, please. We have the decision, Rick. We don't think he's a poor player at all. I think he's bracing himself and protecting himself and playing the number 10 away. I don't think he did on purpose to put the hands on the face of the player. So I don't see any four players stand back with the scrum.
Okay, Andrea Picardi, our referee, agrees with Johnny Beattie and James Hook that there was nothing in that exchange. And also a round of applause actually goes round to the crowd from the referee. Johnny Beattie's applauding as well. It's one of those things that when you slow it down, it doesn't look great, but it is happening so fast, he's just fending away, and that's the movement of his arm.
Exactly. And what I like there, Andrew Piardi took complete control there. The TMO was almost trying to influence him into something else, but he took control, completely the right decision.
You're just nodding, Johnny Beattie. I've told you this before, it's radio, it doesn't work nodding.
Yeah, we have to say what we see. Sorry, I forgot. But no, I agree 100%. I just think it's disappointing. TMO interjects. You lose a minute and a half of the flow of the game. We have to restart it again. So let's go.
Okay, you are listening to 5 Sports Extra from the BBC. Scotland 14, Wales 3, 17 minutes on the clock. We just had a TMO intervention, but it's been absolutely fine. Ben Thomas is still on the field for Wales. We're playing 15 against 15, and we have a scrum. It is on the Scottish 22, and it is a Scotland ball. Ben White is prowling around the edges of this scrum at the moment, desperate for it to get back underway, just dragging a little bit of dirt off his shoes.
Hookie, big opportunity for Wales now. On Scotland's 22, you're on a 50-metre channel, you've got a left-hand pass, passing right to left. What would you be trying to do here? Where would you like to target Scotland, and what would you like to see happen?
Well, it's Scottish ball, so...
Yeah, Johnny Beattie.
I'd like win the feed first, and then we'll have a crack.
If they get the turnover, we'll come back to that.
Double shove.
But I do expect...
question. The answer is double shove.
Well, it's a penalty to Scotland. We'll never find out right then. So, far side of the scrum is what they're looking at. That was the loose head side for Wales. So Nicky Smith going up against Xander Ferguson, and the ball is back in the hands now. Finn Russell, who's just going to put that high and slam it down this near side. We'll restart then with the Scotland lineup on this side. Now don't forget that 5 Live is the home of the Six Nations for you. We have all of the coverage for you throughout the weekend. We had that result earlier of the huge thumping of Ireland that I don't think anyone saw coming from France. Tomorrow, if you head to the BBC Sport website, you'll be able to follow England against Italy. That one getting underway at 3 o'clock. From from the Allianz Stadium. Right, Scotland managed to win the ball on the near side, and they try and build an attack through the centre of the field. This time Hugh Jones going down to ground. Duhan van der Merwe off his wing and looking for work also in that central channel. Little bit of scrum half effort comes in this time by Johnny Gray because Ben White was caught. White then with the second distribution, Schoeman then on the ball, and White just trying to go for that little snipe around the edge of the ruck, makes a couple of metres as he goes. We see Gray back on the ball, another one who's been back at Bordeaux last week playing for his club. If you haven't been playing in Scotland, you did have to return last week if your club required your services. He was one of them as Scotland head inside of that 22. Schoeman again now, they're about 15 metres away from the Welsh try line, but the penalty goes up and it's a Wales penalty. And all that effort.
Exactly in a good position from the side.
And it's another in the side from Scotland, so clearly this is Andrea Piardi's one little thing he's keeping a very close eye on in this fixture, because Wales will clear. Johnny Beattie.
Well, Gregor Townsend next to us in the box does not look happy. I think he's claiming there's actually a seatbelt tackle on Schoeman in the phase leading up to that, but Morgan gets himself in such ridiculous angles there. Like all good open sides, he's half in the side, half from the back foot. You can't quite tell, but it looks great, and it puts pressure on Scotland to get their clearers in there. They come in at the wrong angle. He's just such a constant threat. Great with ball, gets through so many tackles, and his jackling is just...
You can't move him, can you? When he's in that position, you just can't move him.
Yeah, 2 turnovers already for Jack Morgan in this fixture, showing that he can use a little bit of muscle and mix it with the best in this Six Nations. Ball is won by Wales inside of their own half. Anscombe manages to find Thomas, keeping it tight for the time being. We're just watching, there's only 2 players in the backfield at the moment for Scotland, but there's not a lot of distance put on the ball by Wales. Oh, great take on the far side by Darcy Graham, really nice, and Scotland have it back on the halfway line. There's a little bit more zip to their play all of a sudden. Grant Gilchrist tries to set it up, but Wales are over that, slowing it down once again. It is not the quick ball that Scotland want. They lead here 14 points to 3, but they are not having it all their own way. Penalty again, it's a Welsh penalty, holding by Scotland again, and it's Jack Morgan, that's 3.
I mean, he's incredible. Ridiculous. And again for him, this is a one-on-one shootout with Rory Darge. And we're talking specialist subjects. Finn Russell's deep in conversation with the referee, but he is just so good. He gives you that turnover ball, changes the dynamic of a game. That's 3 on the bounce, and again he gains Wales 40-45 metres with every intervention, so top drawer.
And again, he's just so quick in there, the way he just shoots his arms over the ball, and Scotland is trying to clean him out, but again they can't move him. Great play, Jack Morgan again.
I'm going to ask you something, James Hook. Gareth Anscombe's kicking for the edges. Is he getting enough distance on these or not?
You probably want more distance. You know, it's a difference when that ball's in the 22 to outside the 22 in terms of a call from a forward's point of view. He's just kicked it outside the 22, so the call changes, so he could get more distance, Sarah, to answer your question.
Okay, right then. So Wales had the line out, they won the line out. They're outside of the Scottish 22, trying to find a way in. It's Scotland 14, Wales 3 here on Sports Action. Great bust through the middle as they break into that 22, but they need to come away with something. Little bit of a shot forward this time by Dafydd Jenkins, the Exeter man. Talupe Faletau, haven't said that name yet so far in this fixture. He was talking about trying to put his name in contention for a 4th line store. Great decision there for Wales to hold on to the ball and just straighten up. They were running out of players on that far side, and Scotland had shifted nicely. Faletau again, still going. He is a big man, he takes some stopping, and Wales have it with 50 metres left to go until the Scottish line, but this is slow ball. Scotland having plenty of time to rearrange that defensive set. Thomas, Anscombe, Murray on the chase. Oh, that is so nice. Can Murray finish? Yes, try for Wales. It was so important for Wales to get the next score, and they did. The vision from Anscombe and the finish by Blair Murray. What an effort, James Hook.
Wales' best passage of play by far. I think the build-up to that try was fantastic. I think Toby Faletau, the run-in lines, Max Llewellyn started with the initial bust to get on the front foot, and it was all about Wales just keeping the ball, keeping patience. They've gone out the back. Really good vision from Gareth Anscombe. We know it was a big dead ball area, and Murray, great try, exactly what Wales needed.
Well, we're still waiting for this one to go. Johnny Beattie, you think there's going to be a TMO check? but I'm not sure there is. I think Gareth Hansen's going to be allowed to take his conversion.
It hasn't come yet, but it looked like he was level at best. The game will go on, and as Hookie said, the best phase that Wales have had by a mile, holding the ball. You mentioned, Sarah, not quick ball, not dynamic, but they held ball. That's it. You hold ball, you fire a shot, you get points from a 22 entry, and they're back in the game. So wonderful passage of play for Wales. First try, back in the game. And a great little piece of play. I loved as well in the build-up the interplay between forwards and backs, the tipping on, changing that focus, the point of contact, showing the Scottish defensive line different questions and busting once or twice. Great build-up.
And that's really good play from Anscombe. He's noticed Van der Merwe's in the backfield. He comes up in the front line last minute. Anscombe recognises this, puts a lovely little kick behind. Good try.
Okay, it remains Scotland 14, Wales 8, because there was no conversion, but we've played nearly 25 minutes now of this first half, and that try from Wales just keeps them in touching distance. It would have been a little bit worrying if Scotland had got the next set of points from that one. Blair Murray only his second try in a Welsh shirt on the occasion of his 7th cap. Right then, here comes Kinghorn trying to dance his way through Welsh defenders on the halfway line. It's still Scottish ball as Piardi, our referee, is just trying to find a way through to make sure that he can see the ball as well. A couple of decisions have gone against Scotland and they're slightly frustrated by them as Finn Russell under huge pressure gets a really nice kick away, and there's an aerial tussle won by Tom Jordan. Take a bow, that man. And it's Scotland now on the ball on the Welsh 22, made by Finn Russell, caught by Jordan, and here comes the set then by Scotland to try and do something in attack.
You trap in there.
Ben White, Toulon man. Looking at options on either side. They push towards the right, but Wales do manage to put shirts out there in the end. They're going a couple of metres at a time, but we know that this Scottish back line, they can attack from anywhere. They can launch something when they feel the time is right. Not yet. Still forward tussle and power is required. Scottish ball back inside. Get to see a little bit there of Dave Cherry trying to do a little bit more work. Ben White thinks there's a chance for him to go on his own. He did have support on his shoulder through Hugh Jones. There's now blue shirts flooding on left and right. If they can just get the hands out quickly. Finn Russell. Oh, that's so nice for Darcy Graham. And it's a try. 3 tries for Scotland. Darcy Graham back in a Scotland shirt. Back scoring. And Wales have got to do it all again. It's now Scotland 19, Wales 8 for the conversion to come.
A lovely piece of play by Scotland, all started by the high ball take. 50-50 created. It's Tom Jordan that gets up in the backfield and wins that. Gary Owen for Scotland, and then Ben White with a snipe round the corner. That gets Wales on the back foot. And then actually it's Grant Gilchrist who stands in at first receiver, plays the ball to Finn Russell. Finn Russell with a lovely double pump on the ball, drives Anscombe out of the defensive line, and Darcy Graham piles over. Wonderful piece of play by a multitude of Scottish players there. Individual pieces of skill that allow that team try. Great collective effort.
He does that so well, doesn't he, Finn Russell? That double pump, playing in the teeth of defences, forced Anscombe out of the line, double pump, and Graham benefited, and he slotted a lovely conversion as well. He's purring, Russell, isn't he?
For anyone who's counting, Finn Russell has not missed a kick at goal so far in this fixture. That is 3 from 3. It is now Scotland 21, Wales 8. And we have talked a lot about this generation of Scottish players. You have to say, when you see a set like that, there is nothing wrong with these Scottish backs.
No, but the question mark has never been over the Scottish back. So if you stick Duhan van der Merwe and Darcy Graham's tie trally together, they've scored more tries as a duo than this entire Welsh 23. So like the back line purrs. The question is, can we ball carry? Can we get go forward ball for them more often in the big games? Can that pack stand up? And actually our carry dominance is the lowest of all the Six Nations teams. So yeah, our back line, never any questions, but it's our pack, our power and the ability to do it time and time again.
28 minutes played, Scotland 21, Wales 8. As Wales gather the ball in the back line, and Anscombe puts the high ball up once again for Blair Murray to chase. We've seen that a few times already. Now that was a big take in the air by Kinghorn. Now the referee has got his arm out in the Wales direction, saying that he knocked it on in the process. Interesting decision by the referee there, because essentially Kinghorn was touched in the air.
Yeah, I think that's what he's complaining about, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd
and
argue
he's dropped it in the process. So
I'd argue counter that. Blair Murray has gone for ball, eyes always on ball. It's a contest in the air. Yeah. Yes, he's been touched, but it's not horrific. I mean, come on, play on.
Well, they're booing the decision.
Of course they're going to win. That's in Murrayfield. But hey, I think both, as Johnny said, both went up exactly the same time. I think it was a fair contest. The referee disagrees. He agrees with you, Johnny.
And after all of that, the referee has decided that it wasn't a fair contest. Listen
Not a fair contest. No, not a fair contest. Grab him, arm in the air. Understand? Yes. You agree?
Well, Scotland is appeased, Murrayfield is appeased, and yeah, it will be Scotland who clear the ball away. It will not be a Welsh scrum. You thought that was going to be a fair contest?
Hey, look, maybe I need my eyes tested. I've had a couple of horrific calls already in this game. But look, we'll let it slide. Look, Scotland now, another huge opportunity up to the opposition 40. Not even 30 minutes gone, and they'll be hunting for their fourth try in this game in the first half.
Half an hour just played here at Murrayfield. Scotland 21, Wales 8. They were about to feel extremely hard done by that last Welsh attack, but on this occasion they're flying forward once again. We've seen some lovely tries. Here they come again through Kinghorn on the left-hand side. Nice little hitch kick from him as he works his way round the Welsh corner to get himself on that 22-metre line. Through the guts of the park they come on this occasion. Finn Russell pushing towards the right-hand side. The straighten up comes by Hugh Jones. He's inside of the 22. Still Scottish players flooding out on the far side. This time Jack Dempsey is the man who drives forward. Scotland still on the ball. 5 metres left to go. The appeal going up. Wales have the numbers so far in defence, but we're playing advantage now to Scotland. Ben White goes round the corner. They'll come back to the penalty. Jack Morgan is appealing to the referee straight away, but is he going to his pocket?
Yeah.
Yes.
There was absolutely no hesitation. Straight to his pocket.
Offside, cynical play. No, I was happy live. Clear cynical offside.
Okay, so the player coming off the field of play there is Will Griff-John. He has been yellow carded, and of course when props get yellow carded it creates all kinds of complications if we get a scrum, let alone the fact that Wales have got to play the next 10 minutes now with 14 on the field as Scotland kick to the corner.
Yeah, I think the speed of ball that Scotland are creating is killing Wales at the moment. Hugh Jones took a lovely bust. We can't seem to slow that speed of ball down. It's putting Wales under all sorts of pressure.
It's an absolute brain fart by Will Griff-John. You see that replay back home. He has stood up completely offside by 5 metres, kicked the ball at the scrum half's hands.
Wales down to 14. Scotland with the extra man. They lead by 21 points to 8 here inside of Murrayfield. This round 4 fixture of the 2025 Six Nations, they're driving for the lines, but they decide to release the backs, but it's gone forwards, it's gone into Welsh hands. Wales need to hold on to the ball. They had numbers out towards the left as Scotland scramble into a defensive position. Is this a penalty to Wales? No, play on. Ben Thomas needs to get rid of this ball. Oh, goes for a hugely risky crossfield kick. Blair Murray tries to keep it inside. You can hardly watch as it's knocked on by Ben Thomas. A try will be scored in the end by Tom Jordan. The crowd will cheer, but that was just a big Welsh mistake. There was nothing to do with Scottish brilliance. Right place, right time, but Wales, what were they doing?
You're right, Stan. What on earth were they doing? I think it was right from the play initially. The kick was too far. Blair Murray's just got to take that ball into touch. He's thrown the ball away and just put Ben Thomas under a heck of a lot of pressure. And then from there, it's just a calamity of errors.
I mean, that is shocking. I'm not going to lie. If I'm the Welsh coach or I'm a Welsh player and I'm looking around, boys, what are we doing? You've just put yourselves under pressure. The yellow card you've coughed up, right, okay, that's one thing. You've got the next 10 minutes to get through, but there you've just gift-wrapped a try for Scotland. Off a turnover, which you should be happy with, clear your lines, get out of your 22. But the erratic nature of trying to push that pass, a kick pass, and again putting your backline under pressure in the 5 metre channel, I mean, horrific stuff.
Well, Scotland have racked up a bonus point try already, and Finn Russell, he's brought his kicking boots this week. He is 4 from 4. It is now Scotland 28, Wales 8. Now, if we rewind a little bit in the championship, round 3 was a big boost for Wales. Warren Gatland were gone, Matt Charette came in, everyone's playing with the right number shirt on their back. But before that, there are a couple of really tough games for Wales, including the opener against France, where it was 43-0. I'm sorry to bring that up, James Hook, but with the scoreline at 28-8, this is a concern that they need to get their heads on.
Yeah, this is tough, you know. They have to try and regain some sort of control. Scotland are going again.
They're driving away down towards this near side, and this is the concern now. Scotland have got the bit between their teeth. They've tasted the try line and they like it.
Again, that's another brain fart by Wales. You've got Ellis Mee, he's got one job, is to kick chase from a restart and get his opposite man on the deck. He's completely ball watched and been beaten, stepped and allowed Scotland out the 22. I mean, really dull stuff by Wales.
Faletau on the ball. So Wales, they're on their own 10-metre line at the moment, trying to work their way out, and they've given away a penalty. It was Faletau, of all people, holding on the floor that's given it away. And this is kickable, not that Scotland care about kicking points.
That's a big one for Jamie Ritchie. Again, it's another error by Wales. Sorry to labour this point, but they've just been pegged back. They're on back foot. This isn't front foot ball. They've been pegged back and they've taken the ball going backwards. They've asked Toby Faletau then to generate momentum on the back foot, which as an 8 is the worst position you can be in. He's run into a back row. Jamie Ritchie, who was monumental at England, first there on the deck, gets another penalty for Scotland, and this takes them up to 10 metres out from the Welsh line. It's not looking good for Wales.
Of course, Matt Sherratt came in as the Wales interim coach. He's traditionally at Cardiff in charge there. 47 years old, has said he doesn't want the job long term. Wales are still looking for a permanent coach right now. They're playing with 14 on the field here, and it is concerning as Scotland win their own line out inside the 22. Scuba goes on the drive right in front of the sticks. Scotland now 10 metres out. They already have 4 tries. It feels like they're going to make 5. I can't deny it in any way. Right then, back it goes again. Still forwards on the ball. They knock it on, so some relief for Wales, who just need to clear their lines from this set. It's simple.
Yeah, they're playing in the wrong areas, Wales, and they're just allowing Scotland into their half. They're allowing Scotland to put the pressure on them. The last 10 minutes, Scotland have really turned up the heat, haven't they?
Yeah, and again, to be critical of Scotland, they've gotten away with some elements. I mean, there's been line-outs they've had in the 5 metre that they've guddled. Wales have sort of pushed the ball back to them. They've scored from counter-attack. That's another one. If you're Springboks or you're the All Blacks and you're coming to Murrayfield, coming around the corner off 9, it's another ball lost. Scotland need to be ruthless. That's what this Murrayfield side wants to see. I know we're 20 points to the good, but you have to absolutely punish Wales every time you visit the 22.
Well, it looks like Matt Fagerson is coming onto the field. I can't see at the moment the player who is coming off. I assume it'd be Jack Dempsey or someone in the back row.
It looks like Rory Darge.
Oh, that would be a huge blow for Rory Darge. This was a big moment for him, particularly going up against Jack Morgan, who, although Jack Morgan is on the losing side of the field at the moment, is struggling, and we've had to sacrifice a player here, Wales, as well. So we'll likely see Tommy Reffell again, but because, of course, there is a yellow card at the moment for Wales for Will Griffiths, they've had to bring on a player because it's a scrum. James
Yeah, he's got 5 minutes left on the yellow card, so as you say, Sarah, Tommy Reffell's come off, Kieran Azarati's come on, and his first instance is a scrum right in front of his own post.
I'm keeping an eye on Rory Darge. It's definitely not an HIA because he is just hanging out at the moment in the technical areas. They just get this scrum set up. He's just putting a top on straight away. So if we do get any information about what he's done, we will let you know as soon as possible. Right, 4 minutes to go until half time. Scotland 28, Wales 8. Welsh scrum 5 metres out from their own line. The last time they tried to clear did not go well. Blair Murray gets boot to ball, sends it down that left-hand side. It bounces inside the field of play, but then bounces out. So that is better, and it means Scotland have the line out pretty much on the halfway line.
That's a terrific nudge as well. As an exit, you're down a man, scrum time, they've reinforced, put an extra back in there, but that's a 45 metre clearance with his left foot. Exactly what you want to see. Lift your head up as a Welsh player in a red jersey, get us out of here, get us into the middle of the pitch and let us attack.
That's the benefit of a left foot kicking option as well. Johnny, great kick.
Coaches do like a left footer somewhere in their back line if they have the luxury of one. Right then, Blair Murray doing the job for Wales, but Scotland winning their own line out. Scotland 28, Wales 8. They're driving forward at the moment, Scotland inside of Welsh territory. White decides to release Jordan. He goes for Jones. He straightens. Back to Russell on this occasion. Bouncy ball to Duhan van der Merwe. A little bit of a spin from him as he makes a couple of metres. He always seems to as he beats the defender along the way. Jones this time once again with the footwork, but well read by Wales to bring him down. Russell with one of his long passes, but it doesn't quite connect on this occasion to Kinghorn, and it's loose at the back, and Scotland lose a good 10 metres in the process. Just that telepathic communication not working for Scotland.
Big hit again by Jack Morgan. He's just dominant collision, carried the ball carrier back 5 metres.
John Johnny Beattie and James Hook here with us on 5 Sports Extra. We are coming up to 5:30, so just a reminder that it's Brentford against Aston Villa that's about to get underway on 5 Live Sport right now. We're focusing on the Six Nations here, though, on Extra. Earlier today, Ireland lost to France, meaning France are in the driving seat for this championship. We're focusing on this fixture, Scotland 28, Wales 8. 2 minutes to go until half-time. And here come Wales attacking down the left. It's a loose pass to no one, and Wales are playing with 14 at the moment. Will Griff-John is in the sin bin. Huge tackles raining in from Scotland to try and push Wales backwards. And this Murrayfield crowd, they want more, but no. Scotland have their hands in that ruck. And it means that Wales will have an opportunity to breathe, take on oxygen and clear.
On the floor.
Again, we come back to Gregor Townsend sitting next to us, not looking too happy. Patchy pieces of play by Scotland. Wales there looked like they were getting away on the open side flank. They managed to get through a tackle break. The offload just doesn't go to hand, so Scotland breathe. The follow-up, an absolute walloper of a collision. Johnny Gray and his opposite man, Will Rowlands, absolutely melted him. But just again, hands on the ruck on the deck, penalty, and they allow Wales out of their 22 where they're under pressure, and Wales now up into Scottish territory.
Yeah, just watching the replay of an offload from Max Llewellyn. It didn't go to hand, but he's looked sharp. We saw in the build-up to the Blair Murray try, made a lovely break, and I saw a left foot step, just causing that Scottish defence a few problems.
Both sides have lost players in this first half. Tom Rogers had to go off for injury for Wales. Scotland have lost Rory Darge as Wales come away from the lineup, but they've lost about 15 metres in the process. And that will be the concern about Wales. What we saw in the early stages of this Six Nations was basically nobody running onto the ball or going backwards. And trying to find space and go forward was a real issue for them. We thought they'd solved it against Ireland. They were running onto the ball. And that's what we're watching very closely now as Anscombe is completely static as he takes the ball. Was anyone really running onto it? Halfway line, Welsh ball. Thomas Williams looks up. Anscombe is there. Ben Thomas once again. Nice tipped off ball. Llewellyn comes in to take. Penalty to Scotland. Wales holding on the ground. And with less than a minute to play, Scotland are going to drop this in the corner and drive for a 5th try.
Yeah, and again, Wales are playing off 10 from the touchline, as they have done most of this first half, but Scotland is slowing that ball down. Wales, they want that quick ball, but Scotland are doing such a great job of slowing that ball down and ultimately getting a penalty, and Wales find themselves in their own 22 again.
It's a real flip of fortune as well. Wales, as you mentioned, coming off that touchline, it's any team worth their salt will blitz off the sideline and catch you in midfield, so they get caught on the back foot. And we thought we had a scenario where Wales, with 40 seconds to play, would take the attack to Scotland and try and get something converted before half-time. Now, Scotland on the 7-metre line. Can they get their 5th try on the stroke of half-time?
OK, well, the crowd wants it. Of course they do. It's Saturday night. We're in Edinburgh. It's Six Nations rugby. Long pass towards the back taken by Ritchie. They want try number 5. They are lining up to take it. And the worrying signs about Wales right now is sometimes they're just almost waiting for the Scottish players to come towards them. That's the concern as they trail by 20 points here inside Murrayfield. Straightened ball on this occasion. Still going forward from Scotland. Nice run on that occasion by Fagerson. Remember, Wales are playing with 14. Was that arm out there for an advantage? No. Play on, says the referee. Finn Russell just sort of casually runs into Welsh shirts. Puts up again. Forwards happy to carry ball now for Scotland. They haven't quite got a shape yet to go for an attack. Too many players down on the floor. They need to rearrange themselves, Scotland, if they are going to do something here. It's almost like they're not worried about losing it. Here they come round the corner. Oh, what a take by Tom Jordan. That was the most difficult pass. He almost had go-go gadget arms to grab it and bring it back into his body. Oh, spun out wide. Is this going to be the one? Blair King on not tucked into touch. Joanne Madamother has to gather. Somehow this is still in play. Eventually it is knocked on. There will be no further try. Wales are playing, which this is for pride now. You'd think they'd want to get it off the field, but no, fair play. All credit to Wales. They want some points. Blair Murray comes forward now. Wales playing inside of their own 22. They have such a long way to go with the clock now gone here in this side this half. There is such a lot for them to do. And eventually Thomas Williams goes, do you know what, we're down to 14. I've seen enough. Let's just get down in the shed, reset and have a think about this. So half time, Scotland 28, Wales 8. We'll start with Scotland. they're saying something, a statement, arguably, after what happened against England.
Yeah, again, playing to where they're strong, that three-quarter line, generating space, creating 3-on-2s, 1-on-1s, and then with the ability to beat a man with a sidestep, with a power play, and create space for each other. So Scotland, when they go wide, they're looking really dangerous. They have already got 4 tries in the first period. I think, again, to hark back to the Twickenham episode, that they've probably left 2 or 3 or 4 opportunities out there that they haven't converted, which they will, I hope, not be left to rue come the second period if Wales race back into this game. But impressive across the board. And
James Hook, do Wales need a hairdryer treatment or not? I don't know if they need that or an arm round them at the moment.
No, I think they just need some clear instructions from Matt Sheridan on how they're going to get themselves back in this game. And as Johnny said, they're having a lot of pace, Scotland, down this left hand side. Ellis Mee has moved from the right wing to the right wing from the left wing because of Tom Rogers' injury, and he's getting a little bit narrow. He's just allowing Scotland to attack down that left hand side, so they've got a lot of work to do, Wales.
Okay, Johnny Beattie, James Hook, thank you so much. They're going to have a cup of tea. Half time here at Murrayfield. Scotland 28, Wales 8. We'll bring you second half commentary shortly, but of course on Sunday on the BBC Sport website and app you'll be able to hear full uninterrupted commentary of England against Italy live from the Allianz Stadium. Kicks off at 3 o'clock, and earlier this week I actually caught up with the England head coach Steve Borthwick, who told me ultimately all about his team news decisions, but also how it will be an important day for one player in particular, Jamie George, who will of course win his 100th cap tomorrow.
He's been for such a long time and continues to be such an incredible player for English rugby. His impact off the bench in the last couple of games, I think, has been there playing for everybody to see what a positive impact he has had, and I'm looking forward to seeing him have that impact from the start of the game this week.
How did Luke Cowan-Dickie react to being on the bench?
I think the first thing you'd say with any player, everybody wants to start. That's the way it should be, and that's as head coach, that's the way I want it to be. I think that we're also in a situation where we're developing a squad, not just a 15. A squad, and I think now this week's been the right time to make a couple of tweaks, a couple of just changes within the 23 and a change from outside the 23, just small changes that, and I just feel that's the right moment for this team.
Just on Jamie, he gave some incredibly powerful interviews in the last 24 hours about losing the England captaincy. One of the things he did say was that maybe he'd have liked a little bit more time to process it. Reflecting on that, do you think you might have done things a bit differently?
I said at the time, I think Jamie was clearly very disappointed by that news, and I don't think there's ever a good time for a player to receive that kind of news, and certainly I've been in that situation also. I think what's immense credit to Jamie is the positive influence he's been around the squad since he then recovered from an injury and then rejoined the squad.
Just on the changes, Fraser Dingwall coming in, no Henry Slade. If we go with Henry Slade first, did you just want to see what Dingwall was doing? Is there something Henry Slade has done? Just talk us through the selection decision. I think, and we've spoken before about building the combinations within the team and building depth within the team. I think Slady and Ollie Lawrence have a great combination for a good period of time, and I'm sure we're going to be playing many times together again in England shirt. I felt this week was the right time for Fraser to come and be part of that, and I think you see with that backline the influence of the number of Northampton players come from such a great team at Northampton, so well coached at Northampton, and the understanding they all have amongst each other is something that I think is a real positive for the England team. When we've seen Ollie and Henry together, we see a little bit of interchanging between 12 and 13, whilst Fraser, he tends to play 12. Is that how you see them playing with the numbers on their backs this time?
Yeah, I think with any team now, as you look at any team in World Rugby, there's always interchange of positions. You see people operating at first receiver, second receiver. You see some people playing the front line, some people playing the second line. And naturally you want to have that because you don't want to be too predictable to the opposition. I think that, say, that relationship, particularly the 9, 10, 12, as I watch that in training this week, I watch Mitch, with Finn, with Fraser, they have an understanding amongst each other that almost doesn't take any communication. They seem to know what each other is doing. And I think part of that, why the time now? I think Fraser's been in training well with the squad for a number of weeks now and seen at times his relationship and building that with Ollie Lawrence, and I felt now was the right moment to make this change.
You've already said that there's 5 of your back line now that are from Northampton. How much does England benefit from those club connections?
I think so, especially a club that's as well coached as Northampton is. And I think if you look at every England team that's done well, there's usually been an English club or two that's been dominant, particularly in Europe. And you start looking in those early 2000s, you saw Leicester and Wasps, and how many players came from those clubs into the England team, and the combinations already established from those clubs in the England squad. You look at the late teens going up to 2019, and how many players were from Saracens in particular. Now, whilst we might not have one dominant club in Europe, we've got lots of good teams, and certainly, and I've gone on record before of saying how I'm looking for combinations that play together at club, because you just have so little time to prepare at England.
Talk us through Marcus then being on the bench. How many different positions is he covering, and what do you want to see him do with that 23 shirt?
Yeah, well, I think that firstly, it's important to recognise what a great position it is to be in, to have such outstanding backs all competing to be part of the squad. I think that I'm looking forward to seeing Marcus enter the field at some point in that game, potentially with some tiring defenders, and there'll be a bit of space. I think everybody will be excited to see Marcus come onto the pitch there. Elliot Daly's done really well since he came off the bench in the last couple of games, had a really positive impact, and he's been terrific in training. So now it's Elliot is starting and Marcus is coming from the bench, and I think it's a really, really good position for us to be in.
How hard is it for you as a coach? I've just had a little flick through the internet since the team has been announced, and Marcus's name is everywhere, dropped to the bench. How hard it is for you to manage someone like Marcus, who clearly is a bit of a fan's favourite, but actually guiding him on his journey and using him in the right place for England?
Marcus has been absolutely brilliant, and we had a conversation about the role I was asking him to play this week, and he then went out and trained wonderfully well. And that's just a sign of the calibre person, character that Marcus is. He's a brilliant rugby player, and I've talked about him being a game changer. I'm looking forward to seeing him come on the pitch this weekend and break open some part of their defence, and I think everybody will be looking forward to that moment. Again, I think you look at the back three, you've seen Elliot Daly's ability and experience, he's been terrific. Tommy Freeman on the right, Ollie Slightham's pace on the left. I think it's an exciting group at the start of the game as well.
How much did Jack Van Poortvliet impress you in that England A game? He captained the side. I think he scored from about the halfway line. Was that part of your thinking of getting him eased back in?
Yeah, I think firstly, I think it's important to acknowledge there the development of the England A programme, which for a number of years wasn't around, and now we're seeing it develop and having a number of England A games, which has given players the opportunity to play together more, understand each other more, and that's an important stepping stone from there to this England squad. I think we're having nines, and how much competition we have at 9 is brilliant. I thought JVP played really well in the A game. He looked sharp, so this week's a good opportunity for him to come and impact from the bench.
How much have you taken from that Italy-France game with such a huge scoreline? Do you look at that and park it and focus more on Italy's first 2 games? How have you actually analysed them?
Well, I think firstly, Italy, I know have gone on record, I think, and talked about how they react to scores like that, and how they react real well, and how they're determined to take us on at Allianz. And I think for the first 30-35 minutes of that game, it was a tight one. I thought France then played exceptionally well. So I look at all games and gather as much information as possible into our plans and what we aim to do. At the same point in time, that's part of respecting the opposition. But at the same point in time, in an international environment, you have to spend as much time as possible focused upon yourselves. And that's what we've done. So we did in our Fallow Week camp in York last week, and that's what we've continued to do at the start of this week.
Are you a France fan on Saturday when it comes to them taking on Ireland and keeping England in the race for the Six Nations title?
Well, I think that it's important, this Six Nations, and you and I have spoken about this before, but what an incredible tournament the Six Nations is. Such a historic tournament, such incredible rivalries, and brilliantly exciting, it seems, each and every year. I think that's wonderful for the supporters, and I think, as you'd also expect, is my focus is very much upon my team. There's nothing anyone can influence in terms of what anybody else does, just about what we do, and that's where my attention will be.
Don't worry, Steve. I didn't expect you to answer that one. You're safe. Before I let you go, there has been a huge amount of noise in the press this week, in the last 24, 48 hours, around Will Carling and his comments around this England setup. One of the things he's actually criticised is the coaching setup. And he said, you've got to look at the calibre of the England coaching team and you've got to question whether that's the best we can put out there. What's your reaction to comments like that?
I think it's the nature that everybody has an opinion. We were here on a Fowler Week training, the first Fowler Week, and we had a families day here, and we were training, but families could come in and be around the team and watch the team train. And as soon as almost walked in, one of the families came in, and it was the nephew of Tim Percival, who is our runs all the comms for the England men's senior team, and Toby would be 9 or 10 years old. And the first thing Toby said to me was, told me who I should select, and then he told me how we should be playing. And I thought, brilliant. And I had a little conversation with Toby, and I thought, what wonderful, what passionate England supporter Toby is. And he also told me, again, everybody has an opinion, and that's just the nature with English rugby.
Do you ever find any of it hurtful?
I say everybody has an opinion. I tend to focus very much upon the team we have here and what we're trying to do. I'm really pleased with the coaches we have. I think that this is a young England team that's developing, and I think you've seen us get to play into winning positions and let a couple of results slip. And now what you're seeing is a team's find a way to win. If you look most recently, we played against France in round 2, and we scored 4 tries against Sean Edwards. I think he's a phenomenal coach. We scored 4 tries against that defence, which is the same thing we did when we played France in the last Six Nations as well. We scored 3 tries against Ireland in Dublin the week before, and you're seeing an attack developing with this team. Now, I thought Scotland played really well against a smart team, and I said to you beforehand, we're a smart team. They were a really well coached team, and they did, and we found it tough, but the players found a way to win, and I was really pleased. This young team, young halfbacks, experienced something they don't tend to experience very often in Premiership rugby. Again, it was just an arm wrestle, and they found a way to win, and I was delighted for them that they did that.
Rassie Erasmus has been speaking about Felix Jones rejoining the South Africa setup. Did you expect him to return there? Did you know anything about it, and what's your reaction?
I wish him well, and obviously not against us. I wish him well. This is the nature of Test rugby, that you've got a lot of good teams at the top of world rugby now. Every game is hard fought, every team's well coached, and this game on Sunday is another one of those ones which we're really looking forward to and excited for.
Well, there we go. The England head coach there, Steve Borthwick, speaking to me at Pennyhill Park a little bit earlier this week. Of course, England against Italy is tomorrow. 3 o'clock kickoff at the Allianz Stadium. Claire Thomas will be there alongside World Cup winner in 2003, Matt Dawson. You can follow that one on the BBC Sport website and app. Jamie George going for his 100th cap. Just quickly before we get back underway here at Murrayfield, I'm sure both of you might have played against Jamie George somewhere along the way. He seems extremely popular with the England players. What's he like to play against, I suppose, is the question here. Who wants to go first? Johnny Beattie.
Oh, he's incredible. And the worst bit is he's horribly likeable as a bloke off the pitch as well, which makes it even worse. But in terms of a competitor, his skill set, his physicality, the way he carries himself, and the way he goes about his business as a front row forward, he's top class. One of the best we've seen in an England jersey. Okay,
right then. So that one 3 o'clock tomorrow. We are here at Murrayfield. Half-time. Scotland 28, Wales 8. It was all reasonably calm until Scotland went over for their 3rd try. They've had tries to Kinghorn, 2 from Jordan. 1 though also coming in from Darcy Graham as well. Wales got a yellow card for Wilfried John, who's now back out onto the field. We have changes. Tom Rogers went off for Wales. Also going off for Scotland, Rory Darge. On in their places, Joe Roberts and Matt Fagerson. We're just waiting for the OK to get back underway again. So Scotland travelling on the left-hand side of the field. They'll be going left to right in this second half, wearing their navy blue shirts. Wales Wales on the right-hand side wearing their red shirts and white shorts. My name is Sarah Orchard. Alongside me, I'm delighted to say I am joined by former Scotland international Johnny Beattie and former Wales international James Hook as the ball goes high into the Scottish sky as we get back underway. Talupi Faletau, who gave away a penalty quite late on in that first half, gathers the ball and just sets it up for Thomas Williams to try and clear this one away. So much was made of that communication from Thomas Williams and Gareth Anscombe since Anscombe has been called back into the squad. It's a really tight nudge down towards this near side, gathered by Kinghorn. He sets off in the end. Jamie Ritchie on a mazy run down towards the middle of the field, and Scotland attacking once again inside of that Wales half. Pushing towards the far side again. It looks like Russell's got a little bit caught there, so there's no first distributor, and the ball, I think, has gone out of play on that far side. We'll start then with a Welsh ball. Duan van der Merwe there get bundled into touch. Max Llewellyn heavily involved in that. And you mentioned Max Llewellyn a little bit, James Hook. We were looking for bright sparks. We know Jack Morgan went well, but you were impressed with Llewellyn.
Yeah, the small amount he was involved. Obviously, he made a break for that first try for Blair Murray, and a couple of touches after he looks good, but he just hasn't had the ball enough, and that's because Scotland's defence is too good.
Ball in from Wales. They have it, but still at the wrong end of the field. It's an early penalty. Big call there. Hands down there by Scotland, not staying on their feet, and Wales will clear on this near side.
Yeah, average start for Scotland. Again, decent ball carry. First phase from Wales, take that ball to the gain line. Wicked carry by Morgan. Good aggressive pace to it. As Dave Cherry and Xander Fagerson have gone hands to the deck before they've gone to the ball, whilst timing, they're jackling all wrong. Scotland under the pump now. That penalty takes them up to just outside their 35. And actually, hopefully now for Wales, we'll see getting them through multi-phase, stressing Scotland and holding on to some ball.
Yeah, they've got to score first, Wales, haven't they? 28 points to 8 to Scotland. Wales need to score first.
Wales do manage to win the ball. They've only had 40% possession so far in this Six Nations clash. A reminder that earlier today it was Ireland 27, France 42. They are the ones now who have the Six Nations trophy within their grasp before that final round. They pass towards this near side. Joe Roberts, who came off the bench in that first half, the Scarlets man, runs it back into field. Wales attacking at the right end of the field, but an awful long way out to try and think about getting anything out of it just yet. Thomas, who was stood in the first receiver position on that occasion, and he does sort of like interchange a lot there with Anscombe. It's Anscombe who's almost directing the traffic and telling Thomas where to go. As the ball is once again down on the ground and Thomas Williams looks up. This is lateral as the ball is knocked on there by Will Griff-John, and it's turnover ball as well for Scotland. I mean, you are concerned now at the moment about what Wales are going to do to turn this around. There is no one at home in the backfield. Johnny Beattie just points towards acres of space that was just going begging there as Darcy Graham is rushing up into the face there of the Welsh players. Blair Murray, that huge left boot down towards this near side, makes a brilliant decision of calming things down, getting out of play on the near side, chasing his own ball. Scotland do put it in quickly, but enough Wales players are there to try and make a mess of it. There's a Welsh player over the top of that. Referee says no. Play on Scotland. That was tight though, really tight. Head down this time by Cherry. Scotland on their own, or on the Wales 10-metre line. Big hits raining in by Welsh defenders. As we see that little pump coming in by Tom Jordan. He's had a pretty excellent game so far. Been involved in most things that are good about this Scottish attack. Lovely long pass out there by Russell. How many times have we said that in international test rugby? Stuck on there halfway, but it does look nice and calm by Scotland. Grant Gilchrist now playing in his 96 Nations campaign. Taken a lot of line-out ball so far in this Six Nations, Grant Gilchrist, as he goes down to ground. Box kick comes in by the Toulon man, Ben White. He was talking also about Lions earlier this week. Perhaps not a name that comes up first choice, but certainly he'd like to get his name there in the mix, saying it would be the pinnacle of a career if he can make it happen. And Wales get vital turnover ball inside of their own half. I see a little bit of a hitch kick there from Wales. I think it was Tommy Redford. Who was it who ran that? Very nice to see. Welsh ball, but at the wrong end of the field, and they need to get rid of it. They're still between the 10 and the 22. It is so slow, this ball coming out. They just need to find a way of getting rid of it. It'll come through the Thomas Williams box kick in the end, as the Gloucester man puts it high into the air. It's chased down this near side by Roberts, but nice take by Kinghorn. Really lovely as Dempsey drives forward once again. I feel that we have had the ball in play now for a while, mainly because I've heard too much of my own voice. James Hook, what have Wales got to do here in this midfield to get it back from Scotland?
Well, they need to try and keep the tempo up, keep speed of ball, but I think that's what we lose with Tom Rogers going off. He's so good in the air. It's a great kick from Thomas Williams, and Joe Roberts unable to get up. His natural position centre, he's on the wing now.
And a little bit of kick tennis going on between these two sides. Everyone's almost reluctant to play at the moment. I mean, Scotland are winning the territory battle for now, but it's Wales who have it just inside their own 22.
And my worry for Wales is that everything just looks a little bit pedestrian, so there's no bite in those carries, and Scotland are dominating everything for the minute. Wales will have to just to kick that ball out from the box kick and start the game again, but Wales need to find themselves. They need to kick into gear, whether that's with one tackle break, get something flowing, a little offload, get behind Scotland, but at the minute it's a little bit easy.
And that last passage of play went on for quite a while. Eventually it does come out of play, and Kinghorn has seen enough. One of the medics is just coming on to check on one of the Scottish players. It's Jamie Ritchie he's just having a little word with. He seems absolutely fine. There's changes here coming for Wales as well. I'm hearing number 2. But is it Will Griff-John who's actually coming off? All right, there's 2 changes. So Will Griff-John is making his way off, as is Elliot Dee. So one in their place. We get to see Dowie Lake. What a focus there is going to be on him, and also Kieran Asarati. Dowie Lake, if you don't know the backstory, of course, this is his first appearance since he's had bicep surgery in December. I mean, the worry that went up from Wales when it was announced that he was likely going to miss a lot of this Six Nations campaign was enormous, and it will be fascinating to see how he goes, James Hook.
Yeah, big boost for Wales. He hasn't played since December, and you talked at the start of the programme about Lions contenders. That's certainly a Lions contender as well, Sarah.
Right then, Scotland with the ball. They push towards the far side of the field. They get the nudge on as they try and thread the needle through, but they can't get there in time. It's Joe Roberts, the Scarlets man, who does arrive. He's another man who's been out with surgery for a long time. Had knee surgery and a bone transplant, as Scotland actually get the penalty on the floor. And a good opportunity for them just to calm this down and assert some authority.
Great counter-up by Scotland, but again, it's almost ponderous by Wales. They run that ball back. You can see their forward pack coming back in just to secure that ball. 2 of them, their body positions aren't right, but also the rest of the pack are just looking to sort of amble back, hope there's some kick tennis. They're not in really any urgency to get back, look to play that ball or try and counter-attack Scotland. Scotland get there, reinforcements, counter-attack, Xander Fagerson, a couple others, terrific effort, another penalty won, and Wales back under the pump again, on their own 5 metres now.
Yeah, and Scotland don't really have to do anything, Johnny. They're just playing for territory, pinning Wales back, and Wales are sort of shooting themselves in the foot. Obviously getting turned over. That's a great kick from Finn Russell. What's that, 6 metres out from the Welsh try line? Wales under pressure again.
Scotland 28, Wales 8, 47 minutes played, no points scored so far in this second half. Scotland with the line out, that they win, and they're driving now towards the left-hand touch. They decide to throw everybody bar 3 players into the maul and drive forward. I mean, this is being held by Wales, so fair play considering how many Scotland players are in there at the moment. The warning comes up that I think they've got to use it. I mean, it's moving, but considering how many Scots are in there, it's a real tussle down towards the line. Eventually it is dragged down. Well done, Wales, but 2 metres left to go for Scotland. Pick and go round the corner, head down this time by Gilchrist. White is there, makes himself available, decides to go for more forward ballast before he opts for anything else. Back the ball goes. This is Nigel Scotland. Oh, that is a nice try. Really nice going over the line by Kinghorn. That's his second of the fixture. They bided their time. They sucked in the Welsh players, and then they scored. And this is the score line. Scotland 33, Wales 8.
Yeah, Scotland starting to turn out, taking their opportunities when they're offered to them. Johnny Gray, after that maul, was ripped to the ground, acting as the link, allowing his forwards to shift that ball one out, punch a couple of holes in the Welsh defensive line, and then when it's time to strike, taken to the line wonderfully again by Hugh Jones. He's the point of threat out the back, and Finn Russell finds Kinghorn 2-on-2, gets on the outside shoulder and gets over under the sticks for Scotland's 5th try in this encounter. And really now, Hookie, I don't know, can Wales come back from this?
This is really tough now. The last 30 minutes of this game is going to be, they've got to be careful, Wales, because Scotland, they're starting to hit the gears, and that is just good, simple play from Scotland. Wales initially did well to stop them all, and there's about Finn Russell just waiting for the perfect time to pull the trigger, waiting for the Welsh backline to shorten up, and he picks that right option so often, Finn Russell, doesn't he?
Finn Russell 5 from 5 kicks at goal. Scotland 35, Wales 8. A reminder, we mentioned this slightly in the first half, but remember that first round game between France and Wales finished 43-0, and there are elements of this Welsh performance that are very reminiscent. There's no two ways about it. Sometimes the line is just static, particularly in attack. It's sluggish in defence, and Scotland are just chomping at the bit now. It's whether Wales ultimately can just wake up and find that spark, that belief that they have in this side. Blair Murray catches the ball, and he has been influential. There are a couple of sparks out there. Blair Murray is one, Max Llewellyn another, Jack Morgan as well, and we've got Dowie Lake on the field now. He's going to want to try and exert as much authority on this fixture as he can. His name mentioned a few times when it comes to the lines, but is that bicep injury going to cost him too much game time to try and impress? As the ball comes now to Ben Thomas. Wales on the ball on the halfway line. It's Scotland 35, Wales 8. And it's not quick ball, it's not slow ball, it's just really average ruck time at the moment for Wales. It's really hard to try and build something as they get another couple of quick phases built together. Anscombe now, he goes for a little bit of a crossfield kick, chasing down that far side. No one really on it at all there for Wales. Don't know if that was miscommunication, but Scotland quite happily gather it through Kinghorn, and then they push away with the ball back down the field, straightened up. Really nice work there coming in on that occasion by Fagerson. He cuts back inside, and Scotland just really aren't under any pressure at the moment. They can take their time over this as the ball is hacked on, chased down the field, and Wales gather it inside their own 22. Ben White was the one who hacked it on, who's now chasing me. He's trying to straighten his line. There are Welsh players there, but they're still inside of their own half. They need to find an attack here, as we see Kieran Asarati, the big Cardiff prop, preferred on this occasion to Henry Thomas, having missed that game against Ireland, to try and come on and prove a point. And after all of that effort, Wales come away with nothing. Scotland get the penalty inside the Wales half.
Yeah, and Scotland's defence is so good, isn't it? And you look back 2 weeks ago against Ireland, Wales' dominant carriers, Blair Murray, Ellis Mee, they're trying to get their hands on the ball, but Scottish defence is just hounding them every single time, and they're getting in there. Saw Jack Morgan make a couple of turnovers in the first half, but it's all Scotland the second half.
Here's a question. There's going to be a little bit of a pause here. There's a bit of treatment going on to a few players out on the field. When you are in a second half like this, so we played 11 minutes now of the second half, it doesn't really feel like much has changed. There seems to be no impact from whatever was said at half time. How can Wales turn this around? Have you ever been in a squad like this where you can do it?
I think you have to change something. I think you've got Jared Evans on the bench there, so he's a very good attacker. He's been brought into the squad because of his attacking game, not his kicking game, his attacking game. So now's the time to change. 30 minutes left, let's bring him on. Obviously Joe Roberts is on because of Tom Rogers' injury, so that's the only way this game's going to change, I feel, Sarah.
Come back to Johnny Beattie in a second, because Scotland are attacking through the middle of the park, having won the line out. They're on the Wales 22. Can the Welsh bench make an impact, depending how many players are brought on by Matt Sherratt? Scottish forwards just pounding forwards at the moment, and just as we say that, we can see Welsh players taking shirts off down on the bench right now. How quickly will they come to field? Huge tackle going in there, and Finn Russell still gets a big pass away. Darcy Graham on the ball as he goes over the Welsh 22. It's Scotland just battling for everything at the breakdown at the moment. Glasgow's Xander Fagerson, one of the many URC champions out on the field from Glasgow, battle the way forward. And the ball has been lost forward by Scotland, so a free opportunity here, and once again it's the boot to ball there of Blair Murray, and he kicks it on for a second time as he hacks the ball down the field. We said Blair Murray has been one of the moments, the little sparks in this Welsh side as they start hunting down between him and Thomas Williams, the ball in the backfield. Darcy Graham uses his boot to clear it away down this near side, and it's gathered by Talupe Faletau, because there is no one in the Welsh backfield at all at the moment. Talupe Faletau, he gave the dummy, maybe he should have given it, but still a great run by the man who's been, of course, on 3 Lions tours.
Vantage, blue offside.
Okay, this is better from Wales. Is this the moment? They drive forward now. Still Welsh ball, they've got advantage. They're on the Scottish 22. They could come away with something. A penalty's not going to make a big difference at the moment, but they still have penalty advantage. Blair Murray manages to get the ball to Roberts. He goes down to Graham. Can they build an attack? Anscombe. Still Welsh forwards offering themselves, but the blue wall continues to hold for now. A flooded midfield, and there's a foot chase on the far side. Who's going to get the ball? It's loose from Van der Merwe. It could be anyone's.
No advantage.
They'll come back for the penalty. After all of that, the foot chase wasn't clear, but it doesn't matter. They'll come back into the midfield. Wales penalty. And all come from Blair Murray.
Yeah, and that's what Blair Murray's at his best. When he's in space, when he's got the ball in hand, that's a really good kick actually by Gareth Anscombe. The bounce of the ball.
Offside.
Unfortunately evades him, but Toby Faletau watching the replay just bouncing off
Ball, please.
Ben White.
And you asked the question earlier, Sarah, just before we get into that phase of play. What do you do at halftime when you know your game plan's not working, you know you're slightly ponderous, you may know that you're slightly outcoached? And this is a flip of hooky when our sides played against each other 10 years ago, and we knew we probably weren't as good. It comes down to anger. Like, how can you dent that defensive line? How can you make a difference with your physicality? And that's what Toby Faletau has just done. One massive carry, get his side on the front foot, get a bit of confidence, try and get a bit of parity, punch a hole, do something, and get your side back in the game. It's not easy. It's all on emotion when you know you're maybe not there quality-wise, but they're starting to turn good.
Big throw, all eyes now on Dowie Lake. Ball going to come in for him. Oh, there's a hand on it from Scotland, but it's still, I think, coughed up on the Welsh side. No, Scotland have stolen it. No, Thomas Williams has the ball.
Body's out.
Discombobulated, but still Welsh ball. 5 metres out from the Scottish line. Scotland 35, Wales 8, 55 minutes on the clock. Ball is lost forward by Wales on that occasion. The subs are all lined up, waiting to come on for both sides when there's the next break and play. It's just knock-on advantage to Scotland, who will now clear towards this near side. It will go out of play. Yes, the ball goes, and it will restart with a Welsh line out. And again, Scotland survived the storm, and here come the replacements. We've got coming on for Scotland, George Horne is coming on, as is Ewan Ashman, and coming on, as you rightly predicted, James Hook. We get to see Jared Evans coming on for Wales.
It's infuriating from a Welsh perspective, because I get it, your first phase hasn't quite come together cleanly, but you can still come round the corner and generate some ball by they're not completing 3 phases, and that's the frustration from Welsh players, for the coaching staff, and for fans at the minute. They're not getting themselves or allowing themselves to be in the game by basic fundamental, and that might be because they don't have their wider framework, they're not confident, but they're not allowing themselves to work their way into this game and stress Scotland.
No, you're spot on, Johnny, and that's happened too many times in this game for Wales. They haven't had a great deal of opportunities, but too many knock-ons, too many forward passes in key areas.
Okay, Wales do manage to win the line-up. It goes straight down to the ground, so they can't really make any extra metres from it. Fresh legs coming forward from Dowie Lake. Gareth Thomas now onto the field. Fresh Welsh front row out there for the time being. So many questions to be asked of this Welsh performance, depending on how that scoreboard does or doesn't move. Of course, they've brought in Tom Rhys-Thomas as well there, working with the forwards on their skills as well at Wales, as another penalty goes the way of Scotland, and ultimately Wales not supporting their weight there at the breakdown.
But it's how that penalty comes about. I know Scotland have to be there and apply pressure, but the attack by Wales is slow, it's way behind the gain line. You compare it to Scotland's, there's a bit of zip, there's a zest, there's a serenity in how they want to operate, and therefore there's a sharpness to everything they do. Wales at the minute, it's ponderous into contact, therefore it's slow, therefore the clear out's not quite right, and they're making it really hard for themselves. It's almost difficult to watch.
And you can tell that actually by the atmosphere around Murrayfield right now, because Scotland are winning 35 points to 8, but everyone's quite relaxed. It's not like there's that tension or excitement of a big win at all. It almost feels like you're almost being a bit mean and taking advantage.
Yeah, but it's almost the exact contrast to Scotland being absolutely brutalised by Ireland in round 2. So it's the same atmosphere. It was a non-game because Ireland came here and they were so good, they dominated. And right now, it's sort of the same but the flip, in that there's not jeopardy because it doesn't seem like there's two teams really firing and giving us a game.
Okay, right, the line out wasn't straight. They're going to restart then with a scrum for Wales, far side of the field, 15 metres out. Johnny Beattie goes in. Have we got any chocolates left in there? No,
let's go, guys, please. Let's go.
Do that on the radio on that occasion.
Don't waste time. Let's go.
We do have some sweets left to go though, so we've got how long left? Just over 22 minutes to play here at Murrayfield. It's Scotland 35, Wales 8. Scotland have already got 5 tries, a couple for Kinghorn, a couple for Jordan. We did see one for Wales that came through Blair Murray. in that first half, but nothing so far in this second half. The front row from Wales holds its own as it's come off the bench, and it gets pushed down the line once again. Blair Murray with the left boot sends it to Kinghorn. He gathers the bouncing ball with his luminous yellow boots and puts a high one up into the air for himself to chase. A little bit of an aerial battle that he loses because he knocks on the ball in the process of bringing it down, and Wales will get a scrum back inside of their own half by about 10 metres or so. And one of the reasons also the crowd might be a little bit quiet is just moments like that. We're not seeing any sort of tension, a lot of plays going on in midfield, and there's a lot of mistakes as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of mistakes. A really good kick from Blair Kinghorn. He finds Jared Evans in the backfield, and in the air there's only one winner there. The height difference between Jared Evans and Kinghorn, there's no contest, but he'd be disappointed with that Kinghorn. Simple knock on from a player of his calibre.
Penalties conceded by both sides so far. Scotland 7, Wales 10, and there's a little bit of treatment going on at the moment to the Toulouse player Blair Kinghorn. He seems to be okay. He has managed to make the most metres of any player so far in this Six Nations. Played in the top 14 last week for his club. Seems to be okay. I mean, I do find it must be so intense going back to your club in those 5 weeks.
It's horrible because, and again, I bumped into Johnny Gray on George Street yesterday. It's the same. I remember doing it from Montpellier and Cast. It's the travel, so not only you're knackered, but you're going back, and then you're playing in the land of the mutants, the top 14 pick land mammals. It is horrible.
Yeah, we play advantage.
For Scotland, who had to do that last week as the ball goes down to
on the ground, far side.
Penalty then goes the way of Wales, and the complete disgust of that decision comes from Xander Fagerson, who we were told this week by Fraser Brown apparently has a 4-course breakfast, is what I've written down in my notes. Most important
like you, John,
commentary notes this week, so there we go.
Next one.
5 courses for you?
And the rest. Come on. Retire now. You've got to let yourself go, don't you?
Okay. Here's another platform for Wales to do something from. It is a line-out for Dowie Lake and for Wales. It's outside of the Scottish 22, 5 metres or so, cleanly taken in the air by Daffyd Jenkins, the Exeter man, and they bring it back, and the backs there just coming for a little bit of work. Joe Roberts just trying to punch a little bit of a hole, make a few metres. Faletau, who has been far more lively, I have to say. He was a little bit quiet in the first half hour of this fixture, but he's made himself far more prominent. I have to say in the last 20 minutes or so, we've really been noticing where he's been filled and what he's been about as Ben Thomas pushes towards Llewellyn. Locked outside of the 22 for now, Wales, as they try to fight a way through. Nice pass out wide to Roberts. Roberts cuts back inside. No Scottish player can tackle him. Eventually, he's down on the ground, and Scotland go once again. This time, they managed to defend hard as Wales hold on through Jack Morgan. He did really well there. There's space out there. Ben Thomas is going to go. Does he score? Oh, he took such a risk, Ben Thomas, by not passing the ball, but he finished the job, and Wales get a second try. It's now Scotland 35, Wales 13, with a conversion to come.
Yeah, and that's all come from Jared Evans. Really good, quick hands on the left-hand side. He was under a lot of pressure, but got the ball away to Joe Roberts, which got Wales on the front foot. And again, a couple of phases, and Jared Evans had to pick the right option. I thought Ben Thomas should have given that ball as a 4-man overlap, but he saw the space in front of him. That's much better from Wales.
Much better by Wales. Again, that's the first time we've seen them taking Scotland to the defensive edge, generating a 2-on-1, getting on the outside shoulders, getting in behind Scotland, and then the hard carries. Morgan again, really hard carry against the grain, achieving gain line, getting parity, and that's then got Scotland compressed and stretched all at the same time. They squeeze in, they try to carry the short runners, and then they can't cope with the wingers and the wide play at the 3-quarter line. Wonderful piece of play by Wales. More of it hopefully to come in the last 20 minutes.
Okay, this is interesting. So I think Finn Russell has been taken off. So we're at 61 minutes in the game. Russell is coming off. Stafford McDowell is coming on in his place. So talk us through how they'll rearrange the back line, Johnny Beaton.
So you'd expect TJ, Tom Jordan, to slip in at 10. He's played there a lot for Glasgow over the past couple of seasons. Stafford McDowell to go into 12. George Horn is also on the field. He'll be at 9. Relatively straightforward.
Scotland wrapping up a few players ahead of that clash against France in Paris next week, with 19 minutes to play. At Scotland 35, Wales 15. Is there still more to come from Wales in this fixture? Occasionally they show that they can do it, that they can mix with these Six Nations sides. As The ball comes out of play and Scotland will have a line out inside of the Welsh half on the 15 metre.
Well, we said at half time, Johnny, the Wales just need to keep the ball, just build some phases, and for that try, that's what they've done. You know, see a couple of changes. Jared Evans just seems to have mixed it up a little bit, asked a few more questions of the Scottish defence. So still 20 minutes for Wales, or just under 20 minutes for Wales to do something.
Okay, so waiting for the line out to come in. It dashes over the back, and Wales do manage to steal that one. Screaming for it there was Ben Thomas out on the far side. Llewellyn with the distribution. Mee is waiting there. He's got 11 on his back, but he's playing out on the right wing after injury early on in the first half to Tom Rogers. Still Welsh ball, and the carries all of a sudden they're just getting that bit harder. I think the bench is making an impact here for Wales. Back they come away. Oh, show and go, really nicely read there by Wales as they managed to make ground over inside of the 22. I think that was Jared Evans again, who just saw that there was space there. Box kick coming in there. Oh, as Darcy Graham knocks on the ball. That was really nice by Thomas Williams. You can see that Darcy Graham had to turn the ball, but they're saying it's gone backwards. And we're playing on. It's Welsh ball at the moment inside of the Scottish half. A few boos go up from the crowd. I'm not sure the referee saw it cleanly enough, so play continues.
Okay, no response.
And Wales have it. Jared Evans, who I have to say his distribution is so fast. He's playing flat to the line and he's desperately trying to get this Wales attack moving once again. Having said all of that, Scotland get the ball back inside of their own half, and things are going to start slowing down a little bit, this time through Ben White.
But the dominant takeoff.
Okay, Scotland forwards lining up, just trying to jostle position to make sure that this can be cleanly cleared. Scotland not keen to play so much inside of their own half as it goes high into the Murrayfield sky as another Piper comes up, and it's a knock-on on this occasion by Jamie Ritchie. A few of them have happened today for Scotland, where they've gone for the high ball and they just can't quite cleanly take them.
Yeah, but they're playing quickly. They've gone from the... they've been brought back. Yes, Scotland have. They've actually kicked very well. Ben White and George Horn, they've both boxed well. They've made everything contestable. Jamie Ritchie has made 3 or 4 an absolute mess in the air. He's a big man. He's got up and contested himself and not offered Wales quick or comfortable balls. So it's a strategy that has worked throughout this contest.
Let's talk about Jared Evans, because he does seem to be having an impact on this one, James. So plays his rugby at Harlequins. Only his 10th cap today, and many thought he might not be selected because of previous rules. Your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I don't think he thought he'd be selected, to be honest, Sarah, but no, it's good to see him back. He's a fantastic player, really good attacking player, and he seems to have energised this Welsh backline since coming on, doesn't he? Players seem to want to run off him, and hopefully they can continue to do that for the last quarter.
He was playing in the Prem Cup last week for Queens against Bath. It was his first appearance since 2021 when he came onto the field against Ireland 2 weeks ago in a Wales shirt.
Reset.
It's a bit of a mess, that scrum.
Both sides need to push straight first. Reset.
Scotland have got away with that one. It looked like they've been absolutely powered off their own ball. Will Hurd is also on the field at the tight head position. Again, just to go back and touch on those replacements, Howie Lake as well, since he's been on 2 or 3 venomous carries, getting over that game line. We spoke earlier about just the emotion, bringing energy and trying to bring something to the game, even if you think it's dead and buried. And they've been terrific. The Welsh replacements have come on, tried to energise this performance and get them back into the game and make it a real contest.
Okay, scrum time. Wales ball just inside of the Scottish half of the field. It's Scotland 35, Wales 15. We've got 15 minutes left to play as well here at Murrayfield. And Wales, once again, they think they've got Scotland's number and they get the penalty. Now remember, at the start of the Ireland game, it was Welsh penalty after Welsh penalty after Welsh penalty. This is a different front row.
It is. And Johnny just mentioned Derry Lake, obviously Azarate's come on. Not sure what the penalty was given for there, but Wales were definitely in ascendancy.
And it's also quick access into the game now. You give away 40 metres with every penalty. And I think people forget sometimes just how central Zander Fagerson is to this pack for Scotland. Again, he's a man that gets through mostly 80 minutes and offers that parity at set piece, offers that platform. Will Hurd there's been pressurised twice, 2 scrums in succession. And does that allow Wales another way into this game? Quick goal forward and access to Scotland 22.
And it's a strong front row that's on the field. This was probably Gatland's first choice front row if we're looking at it. So this is going to be a tough 14 minutes for the Scottish front row.
Now, out on the far side of the field, there's a Welsh player receiving treatment. My eyesight is not good enough to look through 2 medics to know who it is because I don't have X-ray vision. I'm going to look to James Hook to see if he has X-ray vision.
No good coming to me, sir.
No, he doesn't either. Good. Well, I was just checking. You want to guess, Johnny Beattie?
I don't even know which team's putting the ball into the scrum, apparently.
Okay.
So, no, I can't see anything from here.
Right then, the tunes rain out here around Murrayfield earlier today. What a win for Ireland. Sorry, what a win for France in Ireland. To finish Ireland 27, France 42. So it means at the moment that France are in the driving seat for this Six Nations. We talked a little bit earlier, Johnny Beattie, that you, of course, live in France. I call it the Johnny Beattie derby whenever France plays Scotland. I'm sure you still support Scotland, but I know you have a very confused family, but it's going to be a massive game.
Confused? You're just talking about my wife. Why did she sign up with me? Okay,
I know your boys, your children
yes,
support France,
my children also, they have got nothing to do with Scotland. They want Antoine Dupont, they want France, they want Kylian Mbappe. I'm like, no, it's Finn Russell, it's Ali McCoist, get your priorities right.
There we go, right then. We got there eventually. Scotland 35, Wales 15, 14 minutes left to play. Wales on the attack. This time we get to see Aaron Wainwright onto the field now.
They want
Dragons
the
man.
come back 5 on the arm.
Okay, so there was a problem at the line-out. Scotland holding on to the arm, so they'll come back for a penalty. Now this is an interesting one for Wales because they can drop this very nicely into the corner, and that's exactly what Jared Evans is going to do. He's put a little bit of life back into the Welsh attack in this fixture. He's going to come away with a little bit of credit. And you've seen something, Johnny Beattie.
Well, just that penalty is actually quite harsh on Grant Gilchrist. He's been pinged for taking the arm of Toby Faletau, but actually he gets directly on the ball, bats it out of his hands. A little bit unfortunate, but we carry on. Wales now on the 5 metre. A real chance now to operate with a serious platform, pressurise Scotland and bundle over.
Just a reminder that over on 5 Live right now you can follow Brentford against Aston Villa, but our eyes are on Wales as they win a line up 5 metres from the Scotland line and they try to drive forwards. Can they manage to find a third try? Put some life back into this game. We thought they were down and out. Can they make this a bit of an interesting finish? Big driving run.
Yes.
Oh, what a try from Wales! That was absolutely lovely. Teddy Williams has the longest limbs in the world. He found a couple of extra inches, and that is try number 3 from Wales. This is about to get interesting. Scotland 35, Wales 20.
Yeah, that was good set piece, good line-out ball from Wales. A couple of good carries. Gareth Thomas with the initial bust. And how long did Teddy Williams stretch his arms there?
Oh, just one moment before we get too excited. Are we going to review? No, I don't think we are going to review. We got a bit excited. We thought they'd been paused. No, conversion has been taken. And it is good. So, okay, so it is now Scotland 35, Wales 22.
Yeah, much better by Wales. Concern for Scotland again, discipline, which was the question raised in that second period down in Twickenham 2 weeks ago. But Wales, much more venom in their carries, taking the ball to that gain line. Jack Morgan actually did really well to pirouette out of that maul and recycle the ball in the final carry again with a little bit more width by big Teddy Williams. Wales roaring back into this game in the last 10-15 minutes.
Yeah, and Scotland in no rush to take this restart, are they? They know Wales are capable of comebacks. They've seen it in the past.
Scotland 35, Wales 22. The difference is 13 points with 11 minutes to play. Scotland have taken off a lot of their key players. We can see out there on the field right now is Kyle Rowe. He's also been brought on. Rodri Williams on for Wales. The most significant replacement we've seen for Wales certainly has been Jared Evans. What more has he got in a box of tricks? Another try and Wales are within a score. Right then, Blair Kinghorn flying forwards. You can just feel the energy lifting inside of Murrayfield now. Another try for Scotland. Surely the match is home and hosed. Nothing to worry about. They need to hold on to the ball. Still Scottish ball in the centre of the field. A little bit of a dummy. Round the corner, Scotland go once again. Arms on it that time by Matt Fagerson. He's been benched for a second time in a row. Arguably a man who's got a little bit of a point to prove here today.
Good choice, thank you.
Effort to come in from scrum half. This time comes from Tom Jordan. Couldn't find George Horn, not available. He was stuck at the bottom. Horn now spins it out. Manages to find Gilchrist. He's put in quite a shift today, you have to say. He's held a lot of ball as Grant Gilchrist. Made a good 52 metres in the process. one of the biggest numbers by any of the forwards with the exception of Dempsey. And here's the break that comes from Scotland. George Horn on the ball, he goes down to ground, pops it off and away again. Still Scottish ball inside of the Welsh 22. They need another try to make this a comfortable scoreline. Wales need to defend for everything, find a way to get the ball back, get back down the other end of the field. We're on 70 minutes now inside Murrayfield. The crowd is getting involved, they know how important this is. One more drive for Scotland, they will get the try that makes this a comfortable finish. Scotland, they're lined up, they're waiting. Is that over? It looks from where we are that it is. Piardi can't see. We thought that had gone. Round the corner they go again. Referee is saying no. Scotland will have to go again. They're on this near side. They're waiting. Ashman is there. Ashman gathers. Is that over? Surely. Surely. It feels like Scotland have scored this about 7 times. It's never given. Round the corner they go. Remember, if it goes over and the referee deems it hold up, it's a goal line dropout for Wales. They need that clear gut grounding.
Shot again, no hands!
What a defence going in here by Wales to stop this.
There's so
They
much
decide to
space for
shift back
Scotland in
left.
there.
Will they use the backs? Will they stay with the forwards? Will they release them? No. Is that over? It always feels that it is. It's held up. Wales will get the goal line drop out. What an effort. It felt like it had been scored so many times.
What an effort by Wales. I'm going to be critical. Scotland white line fever. Picking going by themselves. They haven't played like that at all in the rest of the game, as opposed to sticking to their units.
Give me some time.
I mean, potentially we're getting a TMO check. They might have bundled over the line.
I think Scotland have made the appeal, look, we have scored this. And it wasn't at that last occasion that they want to
It's
look
okay.
at.
Go ahead.
We can play on. So we stay with my own previous
Yeah, move on.
Held up.
Held up.
Okay, no try.
So yeah, from critical, Scotland. Again, we've seen
Rock was full.
out playing off 9 players, pick and go after pick and go, not really organised, just a bit chaotic. But again, you can't argue the defensive effort by Wales under the pump, 8 minutes to go, refusing to let Scotland have access again to their try line. Tremendous effort.
Feather in the cap there for Mike Forshaw, the Wales defence coach. One of Wales' greatest stands, but it's not enough to win a game. If they want to get back in this mix, they need the ball back. Scotland are coming once again. They lead by 35 points to 22 with 7 minutes to play here at Murrayfield. Wales cannot get their hands on the ball. They are just watching red shirts run into blue shirts and never get a sniff at it. Kyle Rowe has come on like a man possessed. It's loose on the floor. Here comes the foot chase. It's Wales who hack it on. Blair Kinghorn has to go back. He manages to evade the first tackle. 2 Welsh players eventually bring him down. Scotland on the halfway. All of a sudden Murrayfield doesn't know where to look. They're reasonably calm when the ball is in the middle of the field, but that was huge tension as it's taken forward on this time by Stafford McDowell. This near side, a touch, Hugh Jones, he dances his way through, he's hacked it on there. It's really nice by Hugh Jones, but no. They're going to come back. It was a knock on. I thought he got away with that because I thought he kicked it on, but the referee's having none of it. Right then, we'll restart with a Welsh scrum, and if you want to know how tense this is and how exhausting these sets have been, all of the players, it doesn't matter if they're in red shirts or blue shirts, are exhausted.
Yeah, and this is only going to suit Wales if this game breaks up. Wales just need a try, and then obviously the one score behind then. You know, Scotland just need to regain a little bit of control, not get too carried away.
Got on, let's go.
And not let Wales back into this game with any silly errors.
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, if you're just joining us here on Sports Extra, it's Scotland 35, Wales 22. That's a difference of 13 points. We have less than 6 minutes to play now here at Murrayfield. We've just seen one of the greatest defensive stands we've ever seen by a team in the Six Nations, as Scotland pounded away at the line and Wales managed to keep them away from it. And the story is quite simple, that Wales need to get some points and fast. First, they need to get in bonus point territory before they even think about trying to win this. They've got the scrum. They are on this near side of the field. Big push. They've done so well at the scrum. You really have to say that that seems to have been a real switch that's been flicked for Wales, but the ball is on the floor. Wales do get it out and away through Jack Morgan on this near side. Scotland will punt over the top of that but go off their feet. Rodri Williams finds Wainwright. Big tackles raining in by Scotland on this occasion. Wales trying to find a way up the field. Reluctant to kick it because it gives it back to Scotland.
Use it!
Warning from the referee to get on with it from Wales. It's really slow. As the clock goes over the 75-minute mark, it's a kick chase down towards this near side, cleanly taken by the Glasgow man, Kyle Rowe. Made his debut against Wales in this fixture last year in Cardiff. Down on the floor on this occasion, still Scottish ball now, and they just need to play the clock. This is where you find out if a team can really do something. They're not going to hold on to it. They've sent the high one up, and Jared Evans has got it. He's given it to Blair Murray, who does manage to get out of the first tackle. Oh, great run! Oh my goodness, Blair Murray, what a run, what an effort. He refused to be tackled. Taulupe Faletau was still going. Faletau will score. It was made by Blair Murray, and this game just got very interesting with 4 minutes to play. It's Scotland 35, Wales 27. Take a bow, Blair Murray. Take a bow, Taulupe Faletau.
Wow. And we spoke about Blair Murray. When he gets the ball in hand in space, he looks so good. And for a small man, he's got so much strength, isn't he? He's bouncing off players. And a support to Faletau. The Scottish players aren't happy, but the try stands as it looks.
Magical piece of rugby. Again, loose ball, backfield, that's exactly what he wants. This man, the ability, and again the speed over 10 metres to generate something out of nothing. Bumping off defenders, the offload to Faletau is good. We're having a TMO check, so it might be chalked off, but wonderful
we
try.
need to make sure that he's not jumping over a tackle, or he's a fine, he's trying to step away from the tackle. Put that on the screen for us.
Yes, I will put it here on the screen to you.
Okay, we're just waiting to check this. I was about to say, I think both sides, when something's been that good, should be able to play a card. Okay, just leave it alone. Okay, so this was Blair Murray jumping out of the tackle.
Jumping over or jumping to a hole?
And then he's charged through the player.
Yeah, feel out in NFL.
Yeah, this is your best angle.
I think he's jumping over a tackle. He cannot do that.
He has hurdled out that tackle, so effectively that is jumping before contact. The attempted tackle by
Do we have a
Will
decision?
Hurd.
So put that again, please, for us.
It would be such a shame if it's chalked off, because it was a
I think it's
phenomenal
going to
effort.
be. If you don't know, you can't jump when someone's tackling you, because technically they're then tackling you in the air, and that's dangerous.
The player is running, but he's jumping to avoid the tackle. He cannot do that, so with this allowed the try, we come back.
Yes, exactly. That was on the 40-meter line in the Welsh camp.
So frustrating for all of Wales. It looked amazing, but the law is correct. That's really good officiating, and sometimes when there is excitement, sometimes where there is drama, and everyone wants something to happen for a grandstand finish. They stood tall, they made the right decision, as annoying as it is if you're Welsh.
Yeah, it was the right decision. It's a sigh of relief around Murrayfield, isn't it? On the downside for Wales now, the penalty comes way back downfield in the Welsh half.
This is the right mark, Eric.
And it has the potential to give a completely different complexion to the match and the final score in the second half performance by Wales, who fought really hard to get back into this game, but now kicked to the corner for Scotland, who, again, it could have been the difference of one score. If that try was allowed, Scotland could now take this out to 3 scores difference.
Okay, Scotland drop it down inside the corner. To be fair, that's not the greatest kick. It could have got a little bit closer, I think, James. So you're the kicking expert.
Yeah, no, I definitely could have, but for Scotland now, they've got sort of three and a half minutes just to keep ball in Wales 22 to see this game out.
Okay, ball coming in this time by Edinburgh's Ewan Ashman, but it's been won by Wales. They can't pick up the ball. Dewi Lake eventually does get it, but he's about 10 metres from the Welsh line. And Wales have got so far to go. 3 minutes left on the clock. Scotland 35, Wales 22. It's a 13-point game. Wales need a converted try to get themselves back in losing point bonus territory. The chances of getting 2 of those in this time frame is highly unlikely, as it is box kicked down by Wales in a really harsh angle to give Scotland a line out outside of the Welsh 22.
I'm kind of disappointed with that decision to kick the ball off the field by Wales there. The only real option is to go contest the ball, generate a 50-50 and try and win the ball back. They've actually just coughed the ball and offered another attacking opportunity straight back to Scotland.
As darkness descends on Murrayfield, it looks like Scotland will get a more comfortable 10 minutes has been something special. Wales found another attack as we see a breakthrough by Tom Jordan. This would be for a hat-trick. No, he can't get there. 5 metres short. The ball is recycled out the back. Here comes Gilchrist again, who has carried and carried in this fixture. Ball down on the ground. Horn goes in, looks up, manages to find the fresh legs of Rory Sutherland, but knocked on. We will have a Welsh scrum as we are running out of time now for Wales fans. Scotland 35, Wales 22, 78 minutes.
Yeah, that's a great break from Tom Jordan, isn't it? But just watch the tackle. You've got to watch the tackle on Jordan from Joe Roberts. So it's a missed tackle initially in midfield, but Joe Roberts, a great tackle on Jordan. He has to make that tackle.
We don't waste any time, sir.
It's scrappy again by Scott. I know fatigue is setting in at 78th minute, but they've got another if we're going to be hypercritical, they've got another chance to launch an attack in the Welsh 22. They've got a starter play where it goes 30 metres behind the game line and nobody knows what they're doing. They managed to generate a line break somehow out of nothing, and that's happened 2 or 3 times in this game.
Okay, they're saying that Wales had knocked on the ball before Scotland did.
Okay.
So we're coming back.
There's a knock on by Red
5
first.
metres from the Wales line, and Scotland will get a scrum 5 metres out from the Welsh line. Now remember,
Come here, guys.
the last couple of
Knock on,
scrums,
attempting to
Wales
jump
have
on the
been
ball and knock
trucking
it
on
on.
very nicely.
Come here, guys.
With a minute and 13 seconds on the clock before we get to full time. Scotland 35, Wales 22.
It has been brought back in Scotland now with a real opportunity. Can they finish
Rick, I think we have
with a flourish? Scrum on the Welsh 5 metre line.
Sometimes you're very low.
Okay. All eyes on Andrea Piardi as once again Murrayfield is in full voice. It went so quiet around half time in this fixture, but Wales have played their way back into it. They've shown they can fight. We were seriously concerned, particularly 10 minutes into the first half, as Scotland break away. This time it's Dempsey who drives forward again. Horn with the distribution out towards the left. Hugh Jones with the big pass to Kinghorn. He manages to break the first tackle, goes down 4 metres short. Scottish ball still. It's loose on the floor. Wales trying to turn it over. There's 1 metre left to carry. Is that over and held up? Yes, it is. There's still 40 seconds to play. Wales goal line dropout. And the defence that Wales have put in on that try line is something special. Okay, crossfield kick. They're not hanging around here. It's gone to Joe Roberts, but there's blue shirts all around him. Wales don't want to kick this off the field because it gives the ball back to Scotland. 20 seconds to go. They're playing for a bonus point here, Wales. Scotland 35, Wales 22. They need a converted try to get back in that territory. Out on the far side of the field, it is still Welsh ball, but Scotland steal it back. Is that the game with 6 seconds to play? Good work coming in by Duhan van der Merwe. Still Scotland hold inside their own half. They'll play to the end. They lose their footing on the slippery track as it gets cold here in Murrayfield now. The dew is descending on the turf. The acceleration this time by Kyle Rowe. They're pushing towards the left-hand side. Blair Kinghorn with a big pass out wide. Manages to find van der Merwe. They still go loose back inside. Van der Merwe there again. He takes it down to the turf. The clock is well done. Scotland 35, Wales 22. Scotland just need to hold on to the ball. They don't need this try, is the big thing to say. They're playing for pride. They could just get it off the field. This is their decision to play on. They are ultimately playing, and if Wales get the ball back, they're risking giving them a bonus point. Down it goes. Horn gathers. Round the corner this time by Sutherland. Desperate to try and prove a point here after what's been an incredible stand by Scotland. Stafford McDowell, Scotland 35, Wales 22, 8 phases. The clock well gone here at Murrayfield. Tom Jordan, who scored 2 tries, as Kyle Rowe is screaming for out on the right-hand side, but they continue to flood the left-hand wing. What a tackle put in there by Wales as they push them backwards. Scotland are going backwards at the moment, such is the way that Wales are defending. Horn once again, more forwards offer themselves to truck on, but can they keep going? Are they risking injury? What are they risking in pursuit of more points here, Scotland, that they arguably don't need? Jamie Ritchie drives on. Still inside of the 22. They have been here for so long now, Scotland. Is there a player down injured? It's Jamie Ritchie who's slowly getting up off the floor. Advantage now to Wales, who've got the ball back. Okay, Joe Roberts is off down this left wing. He's still going. He cuts back inside.
offside.
But there's a penalty for
17.
offside. It's a penalty for offside.
And there should be a card. That should be a yellow card against Scotland.
Personal foul.
Back
Gotta be.
17. Rakvos form.
You think this game's over?
Back offside.
It is not.
Agree, Zaza.
You could argue Scotland should have nudged that ball out and opposition 22 would all be over. But we are in an entertainment business.
Let's go, Wales!
There's
And I like it.
entertainment.
I like the endeavour. They haven't quite followed
Yes,
through.
please, let's
Now
go.
they're in a slightly different situation. But great. It's entertaining. It's fun. I love it.
I mean, I think this takes entertainment to a different kind of spectrum if that's what Scotland are trying to do. Wales line out 5 metres from the Scotland line. Scotland 35s, Wales 22, a converted try now and they get their losing bonus point. Everyone is going to try and drive. Ben Thomas manages to get the ball away. Is that a try? Is over? Yes! Ellis Lee!
On the line.
No, it's Llewellyn who goes over. Max Llewellyn gets his debut try for Wales. And it is now Scotland 35, Wales 27. Finn Russell looks on shell-shocked as there is a conversion for Wales to take away a losing bonus point from Murrayfield.
What a second half from Wales. They were in this position for the Teddy Williams try. And just in the second half, just looked so much better, didn't he? In attack. There's a big kick from Jared Evans.
So at the moment they trail by 8. They need this conversion. They get the losing bonus point. Jared Evans, he slots it. Now Scotland have won this match, don't get me wrong. But what a finish and what a fight back from Wales. It finishes Scotland 35, Wales 29. First of all, Johnny Beattie, a great win for Scotland, 5 points, but that end, discuss.
Well, I think Wales did extremely well to come back into the game. I think there's also, and there always has been, a serious question over the depth of the pool of talent that we have. So when you have Xander Ferguson leave the field, Finn Russell comes off, there are changes and we are not as strong. And I think we lacked a little bit in that last 20, but I mean, you have to compliment Wales on that final third. I thought they were very different in their approach, much better in how they carried the ball and themselves, and they really carried the game back to Scotland. So terrific, and there was jeopardy towards the end of the game, so it was much better watch than the first 50-60 minutes.
And James Hook, the Welsh roller coaster, it keeps going, it came back up again.
It did, and from a Welsh point of view, Sally, you're thinking, where was that second half performance in the first half? And I think a lot of that was down to, I think Johnny mentioned it in the second half, the replacements of Wales. You know, Dewi Lake come on, he was fantastic. Jared Evans come on and just up the tempo. Teddy Williams with his try. I thought Faletau came, into his own in the second half. Blair Murray was fantastic, but just wasn't for 80 minutes. If we had that in the first half, we win the game. Simple as that. But
I wouldn't go that far, Hickey. Look, I think Scotland, I think they've taken players off. The game was finished. They've taken their foot off the gas. Again, similar to England, I still think they have left 3 or 4 tries out there that they could have and should have taken. But that, again, when you're talking about the top echelon of the rugby world, that is the difference between the very best sides and the rest.
I'm going to say James Hook, Johnny Beattie, thank you so much for your time. If you want to hear more from them, don't forget to download the Rugby Union Weekly podcast that will be available for you first thing tomorrow morning. There'll be all the reaction here at Murrayfield and, of course, everything that happened on the final whistle in Dublin as well, as France got that incredible win, are in the driving seat now to win the Six Nations. There is a reminder, of course, that at 7 o'clock here tonight on 5 Sports Extra, you can hear commentary of British #1 Jack Draper from Indian Wells. And then tomorrow at 8:45 a.m. it's India against New Zealand in the Champions Trophy. Thank you so much to everyone here today, in particular on International Women's Day, to my producer Victoria, wonderful as ever. But on that note, thank you so much for your company.